What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast again. My name is Knackers. Today is August 19th, 2019, and this is episode number 101. Tonight, our guests are GiganticGent, Conbot, and GameWithGray. GiganticGent, this is the first time I'm seeing you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Conbot, how the fuck are you, dude?
I'm doing so good. This is the one and only time I've been doing good as well.
All right. I'm glad to hear this. Gray, how are you doing today?
I'm doing swell.
Solid. All right, we're going to get back to all these people in just a hot second. During the show, if you would like to ask a question to be answered during the Q&A near the end of our show, use the exclamation Q command in chat, followed by your question, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Of course, if we're not live and you'd like to submit a question, or if you'd like to give us any kind of feedback, you can shoot me an email at knackerspodcast@knackers.com. And of course, lastly, if you enjoy the show and you want to support us, hey, there was a going live tweet that went out a little while ago. If you want to give that a retweet, that'd be great. Or you can consider leaving us a review for the podcast on iTunes. So what I would like to do is go around the room one time and one time only until the end of the show. Have everybody introduce themselves and where you guys can find them online. And GiganticGent, since you know what's up, I'll let you show them how it's done.
This is the most nerve-wracking part of the show, but I am the GiganticGent, a variety streamer here on Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv at GiganticGent. Twitter is at GiganticGent, and Instagram is GiganticGent.ttv.
Can you combo?
It sounded like a end of the commercial. That was like you really nailed that.
Oh, thank you.
Mine is twitch.tv/Conbot789. My Twitter is Conbot789. My YouTube is Conbot789. My Xbox 360 gamer tag is Conbot789. Everything is Conbot789. Keep it easy, you know?
I like it.
My name's Gray, also known as Grayson or GameWithGray on Twitch. I go by Pirate Grayson on everything else. I'm a variety streamer and I do a lot of weird things, and you know, I exist in this world with
Good shit. Jen, why is that the most nerve-wracking part of the podcast?
Because I remember the first time I was on the podcast, I just completely tanked that. Like that first part right there. Like everything else went great. But like first introductions was just a nosedive into the concrete.
Oh, and you're just scarred for life.
Yeah,
after
that
That was a glow up then. That time you nailed it.
Yeah, you did.
Well, Jimmy's out there. I had to hold up.
Every day in the bathroom before Jen goes to work. Hi, my name is GiganticGent. You can find me on twitch.tv.
Nail it if I walk out, you know.
When he fucks up, he's like, "Dang it, come on,
oh, come on, you got this."
Just like open the door, my wife just shits her pants. Just did
it. Wait, did you say you bust in the door when your wife is shitting her pants?
Yeah.
I need the beer. Well, what I want to know first and foremost is what everybody is drinking tonight. So, Jen, what do you got sipping in your glass right now?
The best of the best college beers, a good Keystone Light. Yeah.
The Gentleman's Club has Keystone Light on draft.
And we have Miller Lite on draft. So just if you guys need anything, we also have luxury whiskeys, which we are almost out of.
man.
Is that a white shelf and then the LEDs are just making the entire thing glow?
Yep.
Beautiful.
It looks like the bottom is glass. Is that not it?
Nope. It is. They are all white. Yep.
It looks like it's glass.
It looks so pretty.
It looks really, really good. Did you, when you were like moving into the house, did you look at that and go, I know exactly what I'm doing with that? Yeah.
I even had the IKEA LEDs out, just ready.
Yeah. Oh, wait, is that like the hard LED strip point? I used to have that.
So I used that for the underside of them, and then I used one of the ropes to go all the way around it.
Fucking nice, dude. Okay, good move.
Fancy.
Very nice.
Very innovative.
Conbot, what you got in your glass tonight?
Well, I got uppers and downers, so I got myself a Coca-Cola orange. It's not very good, but I need some caffeine. And then, of course, the White Claw.
Yeah.
The natural lime. Ain't no laws, baby.
You know, I think that's the only flavor that one and the lemon are the ones Weenie isn't crazy about.
I don't really like the grapefruit one.
Oh no,
okay.
that one's
Raspberry's
bad. The
good,
cherry and the raspberry are good.
Yeah, black cherry and raspberry are the best. I haven't tried like mango, but I feel like
I
I'd
hear
like that
one's
one.
really good.
That one doesn't come in the variety pack, though.
Yeah,
What are you doing, White Claw? Get on that. Get that grapefruit shit out of there. Put the mango in there.
Well, okay. Do
Mhm.
any of you like grapefruit flavored things in general?
I do. I'm weird because I feel like that's not very common that people like grapefruit, but I actually enjoy eating like grapefruits and grapefruit
yeah.
juice.
Same.
Okay. Oh, not alone.
Like only in LaCroix because it has the most taste out of everything.
That's so fucking true.
That one pushes through.
Yeah,
the flavors can't do it, but the grapefruit one comes
Apparently
out strong.
you throw a grapefruit by a LaCroix can, it'll taste like it.
It wants to go.
All right, so tonight's podcast, I've been wanting to have kind of like a small streamer powwow for quite some time. This podcast was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago, and then I realized that I wasn't going to be here, and I had to reschedule for this week. So to all of you, thank you very much for being receptive to my schedule changes.
Oh,
I ain't got shit to do.
Motherfucker, I ain't got shit.
It's the summer.
I wanted to have some other people on, and the reason I say small streamers in air quotations is that's what Twitch has officially labeled people that are in kind of our viewer range. I think Gray is the only one that's outside the small streamer range because I think they said average of 30 or less. And I see Gray pumping those fucking numbers, dog.
See her weird flex. With the like whiskey on the side. This is what 40 gets you.
Oh. For the audio listeners, Gray has removed the alcohol, the classy alcohol from the
Off
frame.
It's like classy. I got like the cheap big bottle of wine.
Big bottle is classy.
So a couple reasons that I wanted to do this. One, I think it is a really, really good idea to take some time to sit down with people that are not only in your group, that are just kind of like in your environment, in your universe. I am always looking to hear what people have to say about the platform. I would say Gent and Conbot, I think you guys have both been streaming around the same time, 1 to 2 years, right?
2 years about.
2 years, okay. And then Gray, you're probably on 2 to 3. No, you just
I think
more than 3.
4.
Okay, so
yeah,
you're 4.
I think 4.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of get like a variety of people who have been streaming for quite some time and kind of pick their brains. Also, another kind of thing, there's a funny saying out there like clout chasing, right? There's all of these people that are just trying to go after all the big dudes, trying to make friends with people that are just like way up there. And I believe that there is an insane amount of value of paying attention to the people that are in your space and really like trying to make the bestest of friends with people that are in your circle instead of trying to always go out and get to people that are outside your circle. So these are 3 people that I like very much. They're 3 people that I respect. They're people that I watch. And not only do I get inspiration from them, but I think that you could, you guys as viewers could get inspiration from them as well. In addition to that, I wanted to kind of get their frame of mind, figure out where they're at with how they feel about Twitch or just streaming in general, how it's been so far, and where they kind of think about going in the future. So before I kind of get into any of my questions, do any of you have anything that you wanted to start off with? Any hot topics, any hot takes that you wanted to dive into?
Wait, so clout chasing doesn't work?
I mean, it definitely works, or else people wouldn't do it. But what kind of person are you on the inside when that's all you got?
It's not very authentic and real. Feeling.
It seems like a single serving kind of thing, like where it's like, someone's gonna show up to see you like kill one of the big streamers in a game, and then it's that's it. It's over.
That's never gonna happen for me, so it's fine. I'm bad at video games.
I also think it's probably really, really difficult. Now, the one thing I will say is when it comes to saturation, there is so many people. So to be able to get out there and get yourself involved with somebody else just to kind of ride that train, I understand that's kind of be pretty difficult.
That's a thing.
It's definitely a thing. Well, Jen, I see that you had some points that you wanted to bring up. So since you got the fiery thoughts, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
And
Yep, I'm here. All right.
I'm gonna throw you right on the spot. You think you're getting off easy?
Fine. No,
Did you practice this in the mirror?
Yeah, I did. This one was just after the shower. Okay. So I guess my big deal on Twitch is that, like, you know, like even with like Gray, you and Knackers have been doing this for a lot longer than Conbot and I. How do you support friends and like still grow? Because you make friends on the platform. Like you make these people that you really do enjoy supporting. Conbot doesn't apparently not, but you know, other people make friends on the platform and really want to like see them grow. But you know, normally it just kind of feels like, you know, you're just serving back and forth. Like, yeah, you'll get a new one or you'll get a new follower and like new people in, and then, you know, they'll flop back and forth. But like, how do you not exponentially grow, but just kind of grow like slowly and still have that connection? I mean, like, I feel like that's a normal thing that happens because, you know, like even coming into your community, I've met a lot of great people from that. And it's like, but you know, it doesn't feel like, and this was like when I first started out, just going after whatever, you know, like random people on the internet, and then you get the whole back and forth from there. I guess that's my question.
For sure. Gray, you want to go first?
Maybe.
I can go first if you want.
Answer that.
Yeah. So
so
let me try and kind of like pick apart your question. So are you worried about people that support you and not being able to give the same support in return?
No. I mean, like, you know how sometimes you'll be getting on when I'm getting off, right? So then I support you, but most of my viewers know who Knackers is, right?
Right.
So exponentially, you're not going to grow, you know, by the term. So like, how do you continue to grow while still supporting the people you want to support? You know what I mean?
I guess what I'll say in that aspect is don't feel like you have to measure the amount of support that you give to other people, because
Absolutely.
you will. Here's the thing. You are one person and your chat is multiple people. You will never be able to reciprocate an equal amount of support to other people as a content creator. You never, ever will. You know, in order to grow outside of that, you kind of need to host and raid people that aren't in your circle. And and that kind of comes with like some drawbacks, right? So I have been of the person to never host people that I didn't know. Like I would never go into a directory and just find somebody because it's dangerous. And it's been great, and it's also been not so great. I have raided people that have like been super enthusiastic about it. They follow the channel back. They come and hang out. And then I've raided people that like I raid because like you watch for 10, 15 seconds. You kind of try to get a good gauge of who the person is. And then you raid and you're like, whoa, I made a mistake. Holy shit. This is like, we're not even on the same page whatsoever. It's kind of like it's definitely a balancing game. I will say that it's definitely a balancing game. I'm trying to think of how to answer it different. Go ahead, Gray.
I think when it comes to supporting friends, it's more or less just like taking time when you can take time to stop by and say hi to them if they're streaming, or if you see their stuff saying like, hey, I'm live, or hey, I'm doing something, then just liking that, retweeting it, and just like interacting with that helps a lot in regards to just supporting them, and also just being like, hey, I love what you're doing and I love you as a friend and I support you. That's what I try to do as much as I can, because a lot of the time I'm not able to pop into streams as much as I'd love to do, or love to. But I'll try and share their stuff or talk about them if they come into chat and just support them in that way.
Yeah, the balance. And like hosting obviously is like the most, I think, direct way of supporting someone like after you've done streaming and whatnot. But yeah, like going into their, like I find myself going into like other people's streams like an hour before I go live, because I don't really have anything going on before that. I'm just kind of sitting around, setting up. Yeah, exactly. Hanging out for a little bit, and then when I'm ready to go, not being the person that's like, hey, I'm going live now, but just kind of like leaving after hanging out for a little bit. and then that's like the way to be in there kind of thing. And it gets you kind of like warmed up a little bit. You're watching your buddy, you're interacting with them, you're having a fun time, you got the good feels going, and then you're like, sweet, I had fun, and now I'm gonna have fun on my own stream.
Absolutely. Honestly, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, that's a very
Gets you in a good mood and mindset too.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Jen, I'm trying to like get a better understanding of your question. Are you worried that people think that you don't support them enough? Or
No, it's not that, because like, you know, I've been very straightforward. You know, I work a full-time job, I work outside of hours, you know, stuff like that. And like, you know, we've had this conversation. Like I support more with like the money that I can provide, and that's honestly about as good as I can do. You know,
Yep.
like I've got a wife outside of this doing all the, you know, our new house and whatnot. So like, if I do get to pop into a stream, or if I actually get some time, you know, I just, that, like, what I mean is like, you know, where you have someone that you are friends with at like 2 or 3 viewers, right? And you raid them, and then they, you know, like everyone in your chat knows the 2 and 3 viewer friend. But like the only thing that you provide is like the people that are around you, and you know, that's building a sense of community, and I get that. But like, what I'm saying is like, how do you continue to grow while still supporting those friends that have supported you and like taken the leap to become a streamer? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I mean is and still, I guess, you know, they answered it with, you know, find the balance between the raids, because like I've gotten burned quite a bit because of the raid. I didn't take long enough to watch their content, or like, you know, maybe something happens and they drop something that's not up to my par, because you know, that's kind of where I just get worried, is because I've met a lot more bad than good on this platform, you know.
That's the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I will say is that a actual friend of you and your channel, like an actual supporter, will never look back and go, how many times has he been in my chat? How many times has he hosted
They
me?
won't.
Like, I don't know how many of your
weird.
friends, like I've definitely experienced this in my life, where people base the reputation or the quality of our friendship based on how often they see me. And
That's
it's
not
like,
a friend though.
exactly.
It's not
And
truly a
it's
friendship.
the same exact way with streaming, in
That's
my
an
opinion.
acquaintance.
Like,
Yeah.
Jen, I know how busy you are, and I know how often I see you. I never, ever, ever hold that against you. And anybody who does, that is the wrong person to have around.
Exactly.
So anybody like me, I get a vibe from you. I understand your intentions. It's all about intent. If I
All about the
felt
vibes.
all about the vibes, baby. White Claws, homie.
Vibing.
And the people who are genuine and who are understanding that other adults have things outside of streaming and their job, no one is going to hold that against you. And if you do, then that's a good like red flag mental cue for you to make for yourself.
Yeah.
I also tend to do a thing where if I see somebody posting anything online and I think about them, or just anything, and I'm just like, oh man, I haven't talked to them in forever, I'll just send them a message saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm really proud of you and all the things that you've accomplished and everything that you're doing. And I'm in your corner. I'm here if you ever need me, kind of thing. Just like a little reminder of like, hey, I am here for you and I love you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And then that's kind of where I try to set myself apart, is like, if my like knackers, my DMs are open, you know, you can always ask me anything, and you know, I may not know the answer or not know what to do, but I'll figure it out, or I'll find someone that does, you know. And I guess it's just kind of one of those things where just stepping here and there, you know, just wanting to help, but can't as much.
It's really difficult. It's I 100% understand. What I can say is, definitely a balance of there's like this line that gets crossed where you probably have like a general circle of people that are in your group right now, and they all see you a certain way because
Oh no.
My gaming monitor is just shut off.
Uh-oh. Are we good?
Can you see?
Yep, we're good.
All right.
Gotta move that mouse around.
OBS, please do not crash again.
What's going on?
Please, God, do not crash again. I'm waiting for the OBS crash. Chat, are we still here?
You're good. You're good.
Nice to see
We're
you.
okay. We're
Everything's
okay.
running.
I shouldn't have taken this apart. Oh my God. Okay. NDI is back. All right, we're solid. What the fuck was I saying?
Is it something about stuff?
Yeah.
Shit, dude. Oh, okay. So you have your friends that see you right now as a certain type of way because the size of your channel and the people that are within it. And there are going to be people that see you differently when you start to grow and you start to branch out of your circle. Ignore them completely. There is no way for you to maintain the unrealistic expectations for every single person that watches you. So it's like I said, it's a balance thing. Take your time, host your friends. Hosting channels is not the only way that you can support your friends. So
Right.
I wouldn't use that as like a super hard metric of like, okay, is, you know, am I supporting my friends enough? Because you'll go crazy when you kind of think of it that way. And any final points on that before I start asking the questions?
Uh-oh.
Nah, I liked it all. I thought it,
Ring
the
it.
balance and all that good stuff.
Yep. Really quick, Jen, you said that you've met more bad than good on this platform. Is that
That's not
as a whole? Is that in just like hosting and rating other people?
Yeah, I mean, because when I first started out, like the whole point was, you know, depending on where I was ending my night, I would go down to where my viewership was to go find someone around theirs to double their night, you know, because that would put them somewhere above where they were, right? And you know, when I first started out, you know, it was a 3 or 2 or 1, you know, depending on where it was, and you see how much time you put in, and then how much time someone else has put in, and you know, it's gotten me into some trouble, and you've seen some of it that it's kind of panned out and has been commented on a bit, but it's like, you know, and then someone will take the turn for the worse, where it's like, you know, maybe they'll say something bad, or you know, they will not like maybe not gel with the kind of community that you're bringing around, you know, and I don't know, I feel like I'm very weary when it comes to like actually hosting people, because you know, I want to spend at least 30 minutes to be able to watch it, but like at the end of a stream, you know, you're sitting there trying to scramble, so you kind of go back to the like the friends list and go, okay, this is they're safe, quote unquote, you know, other than rating it outside. So yeah, and then honestly, like the thing that bothers me the most is like, I know I don't want to say like financially, you know, people are separate and they can't do things as well, you know, but like to the best of your ability, you should be able to, if you're gonna give this a shot, do it the best you can, right? And sometimes it's just like, I don't know. People are just complaining about how bad things are going, you know, because they aren't huge, you know, or they're because like, you know, that's where like I'm like, oh, okay, well,
yeah, that's never a good vibe.
yeah,
No.
Like you host somebody and they're immediately like, oh man, thanks for the host. This wasn't going great. Like I only have this many viewers. Thanks, man. It's like, ooh.
yeah.
You know what? The past couple randoms, there's been a few people that I've rated that I've just gone like, oh man, thanks for the host. And then just go, and it's like, dude, it's not about numbers, right? But when you're at 1 and I dump 30 people into you, like, how are you not excited? There's all of these new faces in here. Like, you've been streaming for 4 months and somebody just dumped 30 people in your chat. How are you not excited? Now, can't expect everybody to yell and scream but like nothing at all. It doesn't make me think any less of the person, but I'm like, fuck, like what?
I remember when I was first rated, I was so confused. I thought it was a bad thing. I was like, oh no, what's happening?
Oh gosh, somebody's rating me.
What happened? Are we in trouble?
What's happening? The amount of people still that do not have raid alerts set up in Streamlabs and they only still have hosts, that's concerning. Also, one thing that is concerning in a different way is the amount of people that have follower only mode on by default.
What?
That makes me that actually kind of that bugs me, because that means in the past 2 people that it's happened to, I've asked like, hey, why do you have this on? And then it's usually because of harassment.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it if
that's-
it's just a momentary thing, but for like a constant thing, that is concerning.
Yeah.
I have somebody's question did not post in chat correctly, and I'm trying to get it to repost, and I'm afraid.
These bots out here screwing up,
Yeah.
excluding me.
Fuck, it's not. It feels like it's taking out all of the commas and everything after the comma. Like I just tried to repost. I'm so confused.
Hello?
Anywho. Anyways, so I guess kind of segueing into a similar topic. I have there's a lot of kind of larger streamers that I follow on Twitter, and I always see people talking about fake streamers. Like I know who my real friends are after purging all these fake people. Like most people are so fake, blah 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 blah. Have you guys run into these fake people, or do you find that those are the people that they are choosing to surround themselves with?
I can't say I really have met too many, like, maybe I haven't. It's like it's such a short interaction, you know what I mean, that I forgot about them. But like no notable ones, I would say, for me. I think that's just a lot of like Twitter and other social media complaining that you just see from like random people that maybe
I feel like it depends on how or what you determine as fake and what their reasonings are behind streaming. Because like you'll find people who'll be like, oh, this is something that's mainstream now, like YouTubers. Oh, now I'm going to stream because everybody's going to streaming and I want to try that and that's how I can make money or something like that. That is just a person who has their priorities not properly in order and they're just doing it for a reason that's not genuine. And I feel like sometimes people might see that to be as fake. I don't really know what does it mean to be a fake streamer?
I think they might be alluding to people that are only being friends with them for clout.
Oh, like they're just being nice to be like, hey, like me.
Yep. So have you guys all seen this sort of complaining on Twitter, right?
Yes.
I've seen it.
So do you think that is something that happens once you get to a certain growth point? Or
I think that's a personality type. That's
it's a personality type.
It's
definitely personality.
Yeah, it's because like there's plenty of people who might even notice that people are doing that and they just go, oh, okay, whatever, no big deal. And there's people that will notice that and like go off on it because they like want to draw attention to that. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's kind of counterproductive when they do that, though. You know, I mean, because they're getting exactly what they want. They want the exposure. They want the BS. Like I saw something earlier today, just some guy like complaining about someone being in the DMs, you know, and it's like that was posted to Twitter, which then got him like 500 retweets on a terrible, you know, fake level. It's just kind of like, I don't know. And then I guess what's your definition of fake, I guess, Snackers? Because like I feel fake is in where maybe you go a little above and beyond the normal kind of social media conduct, you know what I mean? Like where you're reaching out into DMs and you're like, hey, I'm doing X to get to you know Y. Like I feel like that may be the kind of source of fake, where you know you have someone like reaching a goal. Right. And they will do anything to reach the goal. So they do that befriending, or they do like, you know, the comments on social media, you know, I don't know. It's some of those are frustrating.
I'm wondering, I also wonder like what kind of people that these people are surrounding themselves with, right? And I am a firm believer in you find what you're looking for. And the energy that you put out is the energy that you are going to get in return. So before streaming, Gray, I know you did. Jen or Conbot, did you guys have any friends or acquaintances that were gaming involved before streaming? And then did those people get carried into streaming as well? Like, did you have friends that were gamers and streamers beforehand that you kind of already knew or were already gaming with? And then they just kind of carried on for when you started streaming?
Okay, so when
Like,
you say like, were they gamers before and then noticed that like we were streaming and then we're like, oh, I'll try kind of deal, or were you saying like,
So for example, I was in a PC gaming community before streaming like was a thing. And so I had a group of friends that we all gamed together. Nobody was streaming. We all just played video games online. And then streaming kind of became like a big thing, and then people started streaming. And it was awesome that so many people decided to start streaming, but at the same time, there were so many people in our gaming community that saw Twitch as like the devil, like the community ruiner, because all this one community, this one big group of people was now splitting off into a bunch of these little communities and kind of separating people from each other. And but I guess my point is, me coming from a gaming community before Twitch, I met and got to know and became friends with a whole group of people before Twitch.
Okay.
Now I have met a shit ton of people like Salty Sam, Mr. 42, all of you. They're all really great friends that I now have because of Twitch. But I had a large group of friends before I started streaming. So I feel like the people that I know the most are people that I've known for a long time. And so my run-ins with these fake people or like fake friends are very, very minimal. And I don't know if that's because I had like a group of people before I started streaming that I game with. You know, I'm not really sure.
So now that you kind of cleared it up, I would say that before I started streaming, I didn't have like quote unquote like internet friends. Like that wasn't really a thing. Like I played video games, but it was mostly just like by myself and like with my brother and stuff. And then once I started streaming, I started getting internet friends. So I don't think that it's because you had like a community in the gaming stuff beforehand. I think it's just because, like you said, it's who you choose to surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probably the biggest factor, though, is because it's like, you know, like I honestly don't see many of those fake things until it's posted like by one of my friends. You know, like I don't see many of those. But if you go and look in hashtag Twitch, like that's where you're gonna, you know, you're gonna go find everything. But yeah,
Everything.
Gray, from your previous endeavors online with content creation, I know that you have a good amount of carryover. What's been your experience with this? With people that, do you have people that were like really solid supporters before, and then when you started streaming, did they turn into like, oh, you're one of those streamers now? Or were they pretty open to your new endeavor?
Honestly, I think I had the opposite reaction to people. They were like, "Oh, wow, you're doing streaming and this is so cool. Like, oh, I want to learn about it. Like, teach me about it." I also want to just really quickly say that the fakeness that people might come across is in anything in life. You will find lots of different types of media and content that people can create and do online in the real world, where you'll find people that are just going to kiss ass and try to do anything they can to get themselves leveled up by just knowing people, because that is kind of part of what everything is in regards to like life, career stuff and everything. Is just knowing the right people does work and it helps a lot. And there are people that'll take that and be like, "Ooh, I'm going to use this in the wrong way, but in my mind, that's how I'm going to level up," kind of thing. And you'll see that across everything. So it's not just streaming. And I've seen people, not myself personally, because I kind of just am like, if I see that, I'm like, all right, well, you do your thing. I wish you the best, but I'm not going to engage in that. I'm not going to reciprocate what they're looking for, because it's just, to me, it's using other people, and I don't like that. I like genuine interactions, genuine friendships. And I see a lot of friends that I know that are way more successful and have those people that come to them trying to make those friendships and try to use them in ways, and it's just dependent on the person and how they handle that, and just finding a way to, you know, balance out like, okay, who's the bad, who is the good, and figuring that out for yourself, kind of thing.
Do you find that you give people the benefit of the doubt first? Like you're like,
yeah.
You know, innocent until proven guilty.
I'm also someone who's, sorry, my dogs. I'm watching my mom's dog, and he just like panics because my dog just came in.
I see the big doggy wagging his tail in the background.
He just woke up from a nap. But oh god, wait, I just got so distracted. What was the question?
benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm someone who always tries to see the best in people, and I always try to. I do a thing where I expect the worst, but I hope for the best. And I kind of just like have that level of like I have not no big expectations, but I hope that they're gonna be good. And then if they show a light that's like, hey, I'm just like this evil goblin hiding in the dark, just hiding the things and just looking like
I'm
I'm
waiting.
good with a mask, then I'm like, all right, goodbye. I give you a chance, kind of thing.
I guess we can just hot and segue into one of my next points. We had Gray, you actually asked a question on the last podcast or the podcast before about how myself, Jimmy, Bishop, and Salty felt about Twitch in general, or maybe just as streaming in general. So now I want you to answer that question about how you feel about Twitch in general, and then Conbot and Jen, I absolutely want to hear what you have to say as well.
Oh, okay. So with Twitch, I used to make videos on YouTube. So I live streamed as well while on YouTube and making content primarily on YouTube. And I switched over to Twitch because it just made some of the content I was making a lot easier. So with Twitch, that was like a preface. I see, I know that it is a business. I know it is a platform. I know that it is a place that one can build something for bigger, better future things that might not always stay on Twitch. I know that on any platform. I remember the question I had asked was primarily around a lot of the news that was going on with certain streamers and different other platforms. So I in regards to that, I was just more or less kind of curious on how everyone thought Twitch as a company and as a business handled certain news stories. And personally, I feel like I just knowing what I know in regards to it being a business, I'm like, well, I think that they're handling it as a business should, but there should be a little bit more communication. But Twitch as a platform in general, I just love it so much, and I feel like there's such a great community within Twitch, and it's something that I've never seen across any other platform. And I don't know, I just think it's magical here, just a little bit. I don't want it to stop.
My thoughts pretty much align with yours. Jen, what you got to say?
I mean, okay, so this is just a question about the platform.
Yes. Yeah, how do you feel about Twitch in 2019 and being a streamer on Twitch?
I mean, I feel like the platform itself is it is an amazing place because it gives you an opportunity to do something that you would never be able to do anywhere else. Starting out on a YouTube, right, like a YouTube channel now is almost impossible. And this is one of those places where you're able to define yourself and set yourself apart. So that aspect of Twitch I love. What I don't really love about Twitch is that there is an upper echelon that you can clearly see. Even when you go to TwitchCon, there is an upper echelon of where you can go, what you get, how you can interact with people because of where you are. And I understand that if you have a top performing sales guy in a business, you're going to treat them better than, the guy that just got hired on. But, it's more publicly apparent on Twitch.
Because there's cameras everywhere.
Right. Yeah. So it's I think that's kind of one of the things that disappoints me about Twitch is because, everyone knows who, Shroud, Dr. Lupo, all those guys, all the big ones are. You don't need to push them any harder. You have thousands of kids going out there, but then you have someone, like Gray, Conbot, Knackers that spend hours upon hours every week producing content. And because, I just stepped into this world and I understand how long it is. I tried to edit a video a week and that almost killed me. It was just me. It was me up until 2 a.m. trying to fix a video, And so, I mean, I feel like the wealth isn't evenly spread in the sense of, the top's going to be the top, but no one's making room for anyone. You know what I mean? That's
right.
The only problem I have with Twitch. And, I'm always a very firm believer that there's always, trickle down. I call it trickle down twitching, because you know,
Twitchell down.
Twitchell down, is that people are going to not want to watch someone eventually, you know, and then they're going to go branch out and find someone.
Absolutely.
So, you know, that's the only thing I don't enjoy about the platform. I feel like the inclusion of a lot of the affiliate stuff is really great. I think it's a lot better for us now. But that being said, I do believe there needs to be a culling. You know, maybe you know, go review some channels and really see what content is being produced.
Mhm.
There's some fucking content out there, dude.
There's some stuff.
How about you, Conbot?
I'm trying to like form it as like the bad and then the good. I'd say the bad that I've noticed, even in like only like 2 years, like maybe it's just because when I first started streaming, I wasn't paying attention to it as much, and now I am. So maybe it was still there, but I've just noticed like a lot more like coverage, I guess is the word I want to use. Like when things happen, like it's all over social media now, whereas I didn't really notice anything like that when I first started. And maybe, like I said, that's just because I wasn't paying attention to it, and now I am, or something like that. But maybe it has grown more in the past years or something like that. Like we talked in the very beginning, the clout chasing is real here and there.
Very, very real.
Yeah.
Very real. And that's kind of annoying to see, because you're like, that's not what this is about. It's about playing video games and having fun and meeting people.
Yep.
And it's like, come on, you don't need clout. Clout's not a real thing.
and like I said, there is so much more valuable in using your time and effort in your peers instead of like GiganticGent said, the echelon, the up top, the DEFCON 5. Is it 5 or 1 that's the worst?
1.
Yeah, I thought it goes down.
Yeah,
I thought it goes down.
Who designed that?
The people, the government.
the people in charge. The echelon. What can we say?
Yeah, the echelon. They're out there. But I'd say the good that I've like grown to realize, I guess, is that like one of the things that I go back and forth, right? Like a lot of people go back and forth, like feeling disappointed sometimes with how their stream's going, and then feeling like really good. The thing that I've noticed that's like really good is that I've just met a lot of cool people, and that's something that I didn't really think about going into streaming. Like when I was wanting to stream, I wanted to do it because I was like, this is a good way for me to be creative, to be able to like play video games and like have fun with it in a different way. I didn't really think like, oh, I'm going to be meeting friends this entire time. But then like once it clicked, I was like, oh, wait, I'm like meeting a bunch of cool people and getting to know people. And then when you like start seeing them in real life, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's something that like I think is a sweet aspect that I going in did not think about that much. And yeah.
I agree. I just switched. Sorry, Naggers. I just switched that mentality too, because it's like I was afraid of that. I was afraid of meeting people in real life, and then it was like, you know, I don't know what happened after about a year and a half. Now it's like, you know, it switched to being like, all right, yeah, let's meet these people. I mean, I've spent countless hours with them online. You know, they aren't going to disappoint me or turn out to be someone else. Maybe they will. Naggers could be 7 foot tall and just absolutely just run up and punch me in the face.
With my mouth.
Yeah.
You're definitely, there's always going to be the people that you meet and you're like, oh, you're a little different. You're a little different, and not physically. Like you're a little bit different than you portray, and that's always going to happen. And honestly,
sometimes not a bad thing either, you know.
Right, and there's like I've said, there's some people that I have friends in real life that I love dearly, but holy hell, who you portray with your social media drives me up the fucking wall. It's a deep dark hole.
The different people that might want to have that different mask on for social media too.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, different characters that they put on.
A couple podcasts ago, I had the question because I had a conversation with somebody on Twitter about whether or not, oh, that was lightning, whether or not people are 100% themselves on stream. And yeah, so fantastic conversation, went a totally different way. Gray, what are you making faces at?
I'm just making faces.
Okay. You know, my perspective, I think, was kind of skewed. I think I had an incorrect point of view, and kind of talking that out with both people on chat. When we put out that podcast on Audio Snack, I had people reach out and kind of explain, kind of how they saw it as well. Have you guys run into that where you're live and you feel like you're acting a certain way, or maybe you're just super self-conscious about how you're acting now? Have you ran into that battle within yourself of whether or not you are being yourself? Or hi Gent.
Hey buddy.
Hold on. Everything just stopped for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. All right.
It looked like he was in a glass box.
He's miming.
Everything paused. Okay.
I'm glad I'm not the only one having fucking technical issues over here. Christ.
I think everybody so far has.
Gray is the only one.
Yeah, she hasn't had it
Don't-
really yet.
You guys are gonna jinx it, and everything's just gonna shut down. My
I know.
computer's gonna die forever.
Gray, single
There's
PC
one.
stream, 24 hours sub marathon.
Yeah.
Fine. Knackers live for 5 minutes? Dead.
Dead.
God.
Done.
Conbot, I knew you were somebody who kind of voiced concerns about attitude about streaming, like sort of kind of getting bored, not feeling in the right kind of mindset. Have you kind of run into that where you're like, man, I don't really know if I'm being myself on stream. I don't know if I'm trying to portray somebody else. To me, it seems like all three of you have found yourself on camera. Like, there's people that I watch when they start streaming, and you can tell there's just this very, very thin film in between them and the audience. And you can just tell whether it's being nervous, whether it's being inexperienced. You can just tell that they're not comfortable 100%.
Mhm.
I see all three of you as extremely comfortable, and I feel like I've known you a long time just through watching you live. So Conbot, how have you kind of dealt with that so far?
So I would say that like the whole idea of like being yourself on camera, or like just in general, like performing or being on stage or whatever, I would say that I'm different when I'm on camera on stage and when I'm off. But I would say that my on camera on stage self is probably more my real self, which is weird to think about. Like that mindset is kind of more what I like about myself. Like I like that side of me where I'm more comfortable being that weird, over the top, saying weird shit, doing dumb shit all the time. I like that. And so I'm more comfortable with that. So I guess that is my real self, but it's
Okay.
also my stage self. So I don't know if that's answer or not.
No, that makes total sense. I can get with that.
I mean, like, one thing I will say is that, like, when I first started, I tried to be this energetic person that I am not. I am not. Like, I remember when I got booed because I wasn't doing the whole jump up and scream and shout and like yell when Tim the I got incredibly lucky. Tim the Tap Man rated me when I first started, right? And like, this is my demeanor. It never changes. There's not like anything else. And like, I remember seeing just like a weekend, like people just being like, wow, this ungrateful SOB, this ungrateful person, he's not even like happy about it. And it's like, I Corvus was there and he knows, but it was like one of those things that like, I was like, wow, like I have to change myself to actually perform on here. But like, what I've found is that like, I am not who I am. On camera, I'm much more censored. In real life, I let everything just fly. It doesn't matter if I'm at work. Yeah, see, if I'm at work, I'm just letting it go.
I just give up.
Yeah, if it's coming around, it's just coming around. But like, yeah, that's one thing that I think I finally figured out is that I don't need to wear myself out on camera to make it here. Like I don't need to be someone I'm not, because yes, I may not try and cuss as much, but I'm also not gonna get up and like spread my cheeks behind me and hope to gain followers. Yeah, like I mean, maybe later we can
cheats.
Well, they'll leave the voice. They'll leave the video chat and just me and
But yeah, I think that was the first kind of realization is that like you can be yourself and be entertaining and then step into this world of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that I probably am a little different in this regard, but I've had a lot of years to practice being on camera because I used to vlog, I used to make videos. So it was always very uncomfortable for me back then. And I also was kind of under the circumstances of others. Words are hard.
Yeah.
And
Whiskey.
what they want it to appear to be. So I kind of had that like restrictive, I felt like I had to be censored and be more mindful of what I was doing. And then this came to me and it was more of like a platform to really be myself and just be who I am. And I know like there's definitely times where it feels like I'm not being myself. Like there's times where I just want to like cry because of good cries because of happy things, but I'm like, but I don't want to just be sitting here sobbing mascara running down my face, holding it, pull it together. So then I feel like this isn't so genuine because she's not crying and letting it out, but it's just like there's balance is a big key, man, on everything. But I think it's just a matter of, you know, what you want to portray and how you want to be, and if this is where you feel like you want to be comfortable and this is your home kind of thing versus this is work and you have to act like prim and proper or whatever way. But for me personally, I've just gotten so comfortable around a camera. I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever. It's just another friend. The camera is my friend. And
Yep.
I'm just talking to them.
Do you have googly eyes on your camera?
Oh man,
No, that's an idea.
that's a good idea. I like that.
I got Google
I have
eyes.
such a bad problem not looking at the camera. You know, like when I'm talking to chat, I'm like,
Yeah,
looking
I'll
at
look
myself.
at the chat.
Yeah,
I'll look at the
yeah.
chat. Like I'll be like, that's
everybody.
That's
Though, I
chat,
feel
yeah.
like.
That's why you got to put chat on the
this is
monitor
chat.
closest to the camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
Mhm.
I used to have to I would put a tiny little notepad window over my webcam in OBS so that it wouldn't be tempted to just look at myself instead of looking at the camera lens.
That's a good call right there.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I bet if like, I know for Gent and Gray, if you were to put like a tiny little wine bottle or like a little whiskey bottle on top, you'd be like, oh, hi, friend. I want
man,
you.
there it
There's my
is.
baby.
I would put...
And
I
just
would
put
put
White
these
Claws.
little, like, one of the times I put one of these rubber boobies that Gray and Herrera got for me, but the camera's heat sink, the Subtool heat sink is right on top. This would fucking melt so fast. Actually, you know what? Let's do a test. I'm going to leave that there for a couple seconds. We're going to see what
There you
happens.
go.
Let's see.
A little bit.
Good old booby.
Oh, it's getting sticky. It's getting sticky already.
Already? Dang.
Oh, it's a hot tit. We still do have one of the tiny little rubber dicks. It's just in our shower. It sits on one of the shelves.
Okay.
What is the hardest part about streaming? So think about that question while I kind of go into kind of piggybacking off of what you all said. I don't want to say a problem, but I definitely am aware that I am less energetic in my everyday life compared to when I am on stream. And I have pretty much put this together in my mind where it's a combination of me having to be, because I'm a customer facing employee, I have to be on when I'm in front of the employee because I have to represent not only myself, I have to represent the company that I'm working for. And then I come home and then I have to be on for the camera. And yes, you're being yourself, but you know, you want to get excited about certain things. You want to, use a little bit of energy, and you obviously, like, I think it's natural for a streamer to want to embellish things, right? To just make them a little bit more exciting. And then that drains me. And there are times throughout the day where, whether I'm just like sitting and driving with my girlfriend or we're just out and about, where something happens and then I think to say or do something. Like I think of the thing that I want to do or say, and then I go, I'm just kind of tired. So I'm just not gonna do the thing that I want to do. And that's something that I'm trying to work through when I look back at my week and go, why do I feel so terrible? Okay, let's see what kind of fuel I've been putting in my body since Monday. Oh, that's why you feel like a fucking circus peanut. It's because you've been putting nothing but shit in your body for 7 days straight. I am White Claws, baby. And that is not something I had to deal with 5 years ago. I was not so dependent on treating my body right. Like you could be a little bit more loose with the things that you could, be doing. Eating
That just
ass
comes with age, man.
It does. It does.
So
We're just gonna skim
terrible.
over that. No one.
Hey, you got to get your nutrients somehow, Jen. We all do it in different
Yeah.
ways. Some people have smoothies. Some people like sucking poopy.
In there.
Yeah.
Get in there.
That's for everyone. Well, okay.
The only
then-
real way to get
That's
energy.
for
Come on,
everyone.
though.
So then to segue off of that, has there ever been time, since there is an like no matter where you are in your streaming career, there is an expectation of where you're going to come into, you know what I mean? Like you've got to at least hit this level, and then that's what your chat expects. Do you ever just like come home and like sit down after you eat or something and you're just like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can actually get in front of a camera and be entertaining. And like that's one where I've had to like, I feel bad about it because you watch all these things on YouTube and like, or you read like, don't cancel streams. You got to have a consistency because that's like the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, I agree. That's where I'm getting to. And it's just like, some days I just can't do it, man. Some days I can't do it. I need to sit down, watch a couple episodes of The Office, and go the hell to bed.
Yeah. No.
You have to know your limit.
Yeah.
100%. There was actually a stream a couple weeks back of me playing Breath of the Wild. And for the final 2 hours, I literally sat like this with the controller on my belly and just, oh man. Oh, yeah, yeet. That was a good shot. And totally chill. And at first I was kind of worried that I'm like, oh man, this is not me. I don't feel good. But I still wanted to stream and I still wanted to play games. You, just like any other human being, are going to have your on and off days. If you have the mindset of this is a hobby, treat it like a hobby, man. You don't ever feel like you can't take your days off because you feel so terrible. What I will say on the flip side is there are a lot of days where I feel crappy, and then I go live and the community fucking brings it through.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
those are good.
I think, I'm speaking for myself here, and this is something that you guys, this might resonate with you. The way that I am, I feed off of the people that are around me. And so like, if we were like, and I hate to say it this way because like, I want to be 100% myself for my girlfriend, right? But when you get in a house and you live together and you get nesty, you get the beer belly and you're real comfortable with each other, you're fucking sitting on the couch with your dicks out. It's easy just to be in like a very reserved kind of low energy thing, right? Maybe it's not so much like the honeymoon phase, but you're like, I don't know how to explain it. But then people can like, friends can come over, we have like a party, and I'm just like, oh, there's more people around, right? There's more people to feed off of. And I think that's kind of I almost feel like that's a problem because it's that high of streaming. The adrenaline goes like up and down. It's like you go live, you're hanging out with people, you're up, and then you shut off the cameras, and then you kind of like, you kind of simmer back down. And I think if you aren't kind of keeping that in check, it can kind of swallow you whole.
It's very extroverted. I feel like that's a very extroverted thing.
Yep. But is the meaning of extrovert to only be that way when you're around other people? Is that like the definition of it?
The best way I've heard it explained is extroverts take energy from people, which sounds bad and like mean, but they take energy from people, and the introverts give energy to people. Like,
okay,
the extroverts need that energy from other people, and that's how they get their energy. And then introverts get their energy by being alone. They gather it. They get all their energy sitting at home, reading or doing what they need to do, and then they go out and they give their energy to other people. So it's like extroverts need introverts, and introverts need extroverts kind of deal.
Okay. And that's definitely the difference between my girlfriend and I, where she is introverted. She has no problem being alone, just kind of chilling, still loves hanging out with people, but you're not going to see her hanging out with people like 2, 3, 4 days in a row. Just like 4 hours on a Sunday. I don't want to see any of you people again for like another week. Okay. She's not really here to speak for herself. She might be, but I would say that she has definitely gotten more extroverted. Like she has gotten more social since being here because we do a lot. We go out, we hang out with people. And like kind of once you get in that rhythm of being around other people, it's easier to be around other people. I want to say that I'm like an introverted extrovert, right? I really, really enjoy being around people, but at the same time, I very much enjoy being by myself, being productive. I'm a little bit of a workaholic. And
Like
again,
60-40.
60-40 as in extroverted 60?
60 extroverted, 40 introvert.
Okay.
Does that ever affect your gaming? I feel like solo, bad. When I'm playing with friends and hanging out and like just bullshitting, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Full gamer mode.
Yeah, I feel way 100 times better if I get to hang out with people and talk, because you can switch in and out, between your chat and the people you're playing with, and like that's where I have so much fun. Like that's where those are the streams, and I'm like, oh, this was a great one. And then not to say there isn't great solo streams, but like I feel like I'm just like knackers when it comes to like I pull energy from people. So like if they're way up here, I'm coming right up there. It's like if they're down low. So
it's one of my favorite parts about doing this podcast is just sucking all of the energy out of all of you and putting it into my reservoir.
Joke's on you, I'm sucking it too.
I'm just sitting here quietly sucking it all in.
This is a four-way suck.
You only need 2 to human centipede, baby. 68.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. What I will say, Jen, is that God, dude, we're getting some nasty storms outside right now. Weenie's in her fucking office rain dancing like a monster. I love streaming so fucking much. I love creating content. I love being creative. I love spending time with people like you guys. I love the sense of community and being online. Streaming has ruined offline gaming for me. I feel like I have no purpose when I am playing video games off stream, and I almost never, ever do it. That's just kind of
that.
Okay. So I think it's an unfortunate byproduct of streaming. It's like, what's the point of playing games if I'm not going to create content about it? And
See, oof, no, go ahead.
no, that was the end of it.
I was just gonna say, I used to make a lot of playthrough videos, and for me, I would get agitated recording those playthroughs because I was like, well, they're not perfect, they're not good enough. They're like, oh, I stumble over my words, which I do all the time. And I would like I remember many times just sitting in my room alone, locking the door, making sure everything was silent, trying to record videos, and getting so frustrated I restarted the game after playing it for hours just so that I could like have a clean slate playthrough. And I started to really hate it. And then streaming brought back the love for gaming and like the enjoyment of gaming. But I ended up not like once I started streaming, I stopped playing off stream because I felt like, oh, well, that's just like that's stuff to put on like on stream. I should do this on stream. And I started giving myself like one day every week where I would just play games with friends, not give an F, and just have fun. And it's slowly like getting to a point where I can actually enjoy it again in a way where it's like disconnected and just shooting the shit with friends and being idiots in games. And it's, I don't know, it's just like a mix of what you're experiencing too.
How do you feel about, Jen, how do you feel about video games off stream now that you've been streaming for a while?
It has to be with friends.
Okay.
Like if I come down, it depends. I mean, like some days I'll play and just be by myself, and that's okay. But like if I really want to enjoy it, I have to play with people, because it's like, more times than less, I'll come downstairs and sit down and be like, all right, I'm gonna play a game, and then I'll watch videos or podcasts or just hang out and paint some minis and stuff like that, and it won't ever get to the point that I actually boot up a game.
You will never catch me playing a single player game off stream.
Yeah.
Like campaign games. And one of the main reasons that I started Subselect was because I know that I missed an insane, almost an immeasurable amount of single player campaign games. And there is just like, it's like sex and then sex on MDMA. It's like, sex is like really cool with drugs. And now I can never go back to having regular sex ever again. So like playing single player campaigns on stream with the community, whether it's with an insane amount of backseating, I'm fucking talking to you, chat, or just like having the wealth and the knowledge of a community behind a single player campaign, it's so difficult to go back to playing games by yourself. Multiplayer games a little bit different because like Jen said, you can just grab some friends and go and play. Gray, we played some Battlefield 5 last week or two. My monitor just shut off again. Holy Christ! I don't know if is there a power strip?
In the arms of an angel.
It's still good, just so you know.
It's, oh my God.
Where is it?
Okay, we're good.
I reinstalled my operating system. I haven't adjusted the monitor go to sleep timer yet. So it's going to sleep.
I was thinking it. I was like, you just gotta move your mouse every once.
Oh my God! Remember, chat, if you're ever thinking about streaming,
This is 5 years. 5 years of streaming.
Oh,
All of the
Just
knowledge
don't.
amassed.
Just don't.
If you're ever thinking about streaming, just don't.
I'm just going to continue the rest of the podcast like this so it doesn't go to sleep again. Oh, God. Anywho.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys
So things that are hard with streaming, something I am terrible with, but that's also because this is all that I do, is my time management. I'm awful with time management because that was originally the question of what is one of the hardest things with streaming. And I think managing time to be live, you know, communicate with your community and engage with your community, engage with friends and maintain friendships, relationships, and doing outside things like house errands like groceries and cleaning your house and stuff. Managing time so that you are the most productive while simultaneously managing your sanity is hard.
I 100% agree. I sometimes feel like I don't know the boundaries. And after 6 years of doing this, I hit my first extensive burnout where it was months. It was months of not having the motivation to work off stream. I was still willing to go live because there's a part of me that believes that going live is the easiest part of being a streamer. You go live, things happen, you react to them, you play a video game, and you can have a good stream putting minimal effort in. Take that with a grain of salt. It's all of the outside stuff that really can take all of the energy out of you. And sometimes you just get really bogged down with everything that you have to do. And it can be very, very, very draining. And so I 100% agree with that, Gray, because it's sometimes it feels like there's no end. But at the same time, it's nice to always have something to do, and it's always nice to work towards something. But I can agree that after a certain amount of time, the amount of work that you're putting in and the ROI being so small, it can feel really meaningless with everything that you're doing. But you kind of take the time to reset yourself. And I mean, that's really what I had to do. I didn't feel like I was getting caught up with numbers. Is dissatisfied a word?
We can make it. If it's not, it should be.
It's either dissatisfied or unsatisfied.
Unsatisfied. I think they both exist, and I don't know the difference between the two. I wasn't unsatisfied.
It's not used.
I know. Let's bring it back.
Dissatisfied. We're bringing it back.
Yeah. I wasn't concerned about numbers, but I think I had just gotten to the point where I was so burnt out of just doing. And over these past couple of weeks or months even, I've taken a lot of time off of just not doing a goddamn thing. And I've had these kind of to-do lists that have just been building up over time. And I just said, fuck it to all of it. And I just laid back and didn't do shit. It was great.
Self-care is important. It's really, really, really important.
Oh, yeah.
My to-do list is too huge right now.
Man, I've got to-do lists for to-do lists.
Yeah. I have
so many damn lists.
Such an idea for like just other things I want to do on the channel and stuff like that. And it's like I have to write code for it, and I'm like,
Stuff that takes a lot of time.
I get home and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit on my ass. All right, cool.
That's number one on
Sit on ass.
old first
Open
one.
beer.
You're
Sit down.
Sit.
Yeah.
Sit.
Jen, if it makes you feel better, I have things on lists that are years old, like
Oh,
ideas
yeah.
for a
Me
stream.
too.
Don't feel bad.
Well, the thing is this is like one that I'm really excited about. I'm like pumped about being able to do this, and like, you know, the thing is like when I get pumped about something, life just seems to come in and just kick me in the face. You know, it's not like ever. The weird thing is like, even, you know, talking about coding, I found an open source repository for something that I wanted to do, and it's like, oh, I can just take this, and I still have not been able to find the hour or two it would take me to translate it. And it's just like, how hard is this? How hard is it to get this together for a stream?
What
You know?
the one thing that I can offer to you is the next time you're going to go live and you feel great, cancel and work on it.
That's
I'm-
a good idea.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm gonna do that.
I have done that
That's really good.
a lot.
Or do it on stream. You know, like if you're confident.
Yeah. I've had so many things where I'm like, I want to do this, and it's like something that takes maybe 10 minutes, but it's just the effort and the energy and setting it up and then making sure that it works and like goes smoothly. There's like a ton of things like that for me that I've wanted to do, and I'm just like, I don't want to do it, and I don't want to do it on stream because I want it to be a surprise or
Right.
something like that, and it's like, oh.
You know how every motivational speaker and Tony Robbins of the world tells you that you should start your day by making your bed in the morning? The same thing goes with taking time off of streaming and knocking out one tiny little thing, and then it snowballs into the next tiny thing. Jen, I cannot tell you how valuable it is to just like be like, oh man, I feel like I could stream. I'm feeling pretty good. I got this stuff to do. You know what? Fuck it. Cancel, lie to everyone and say you got diarrhea, and then you just work for like 4 hours straight. Rewarding.
Diarrhea is the simple scapegoat.
I never lie to you,
I'm
chat.
shitting myself, man. Get it.
I have.
We can't be. You
That's
guys
my
want to see me
pants
shit
over
myself? It's
Yeah.
against TOS. Can't do that.
There,
Some guys out in the chat going, "Oh yeah."
stream
me
that
buy
bitch. Poop panties coming to it. Designed by
Buy them
humans
panties.
near you.
Yeah.
That's how, if I am too tired to stream and I am too tired to work on stuff off stream, that's how I know that it's time to take a little bit of a break and kind of reassess. But yeah, man, there's nothing better than taking a stream night to get some work in, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the hardest part is, I guess it's like the hardest and also part is constantly thinking about it, like all the time. Like it's fun and you're like constantly thinking of new things. What game do I play? Should I do this? Should I do that? Can I improve this? Can I improve that? It's like kind of fun, kind of cool because it like keeps your mind going. It's creative. It's good. And then part of it's like, I gotta like not think about it for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Clocking out mentally is super friggin' hard.
Mm.
Yeah.
So hard.
That's
And-
another thing that can be just extremely draining, is thinking about it all the time. And it definitely affects other parts of your life too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I streamed for 25 hours, and after the stream, I was like, you know, I think I'm just gonna keep staying here and do some more work. There's some
Did
stuff that I
you really?
should implement. No, I almost passed out in the shower.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
my body,
That's what to
my body
say.
was like, nah, girl, you're done.
I honestly don't
I
know how the
wanted
fuck you
to.
do those.
I woke
No,
up and I
yeah.
was like, I want to do work. I want to do something. I want to work on stuff for the stream, and it's hard to turn off. It's so hard. That, or I just clean my house after things like that. I'm weird.
What?
I've done a lot of like 12-hour streams, and I'm like, you know what? Instead of sleep, I'm gonna clean my house, and not just light clean. I'm gonna deep clean my house, so that way my body is tired too, not just my brain, my body. Ooh, sorry,
The
my body is
whole
tired.
deal is tired.
Yeah.
I
I-
think like when it comes to 24-hour streams, I am a person that cannot, and Gray is a person that can. I'm just not the person that can do that.
Yeah.
No.
I have tried to do like, you know, all-nighters ever since college and have failed every single time. There's not
It's
been
rough.
there's not been a time that I've actually. Do you ever get to that point where you're so tired that you can't drink enough water to not be thirsty?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
Is that a thing?
yeah,
That's when you
stay
just
up
start drinking alcohol.
stay up
Just
so
kidding, kidding,
long
kidding.
that your body is so tired and trying to keep itself up that you're constantly just thirsty. So you sit there and drink water and drink water and drink water, and you'll get sick.
Mhm.
It's the worst.
That's the thing.
I
It's
know.
awful.
I've never heard of this before.
Awful.
Nope.
It is the worst thing.
Interesting.
Hopefully, I'll never have to experience.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just go to bed.
I have
Zach,
one
what
last.
would it take? Hold on, real quick. I agree with Buddha, but like, what would it take, Jimmy, you, and me to make it 24 hours?
You guys
I-
could split it up. You
Uh-uh.
could split it up
Ooh.
out.
Uh-uh.
Oh, just like collectively
All
together.
tips, all together,
Tip. All right. Tip
Full
touch and
24
iron.
hours.
full
tip touching.
24 hours.
I will never do a 24-hour stream.
Thank you. That's the question.
Nope.
That's what I wanted. Yep.
No.
Thank you.
Listen, there's a reason I only do it 3 to 4 hours at a time. A, if I go any longer, I'm going to pass out. B, most people can't take me for more than a couple hours, okay? Like they're like, hour and a half. All right, I got my knackers for the week. I'm fucking out. I respect anybody that chooses to do that. I don't see the value in it. There's so many reasons why a lot of people love to do it. I'm just not one of those people. I don't think that I will do a good job of creating content 24 hours at a time. That's just
I
my
get that.
that's just my personal
I
thing.
respect that. I get that entirely.
And also I don't want to die. Like 24 hours, man. Like
I mean, the next day's
what?
done. The next day's done. It's
I
awful.
can't think of anything that I
no.
want to do for 24 hours.
I mean, I can, but it's your mouth.
Ooh.
My poor tonsils. You know what?
Should we leave it? Like,
Yeah, do you want us to leave? Give me your room.
Excuse me.
There was when I was getting my root canal, I like
speaking
you
of
know
mouth-
it's always weird when somebody looks in your mouth for the first time. It's like,
No, that's my
Mhm.
favorite thing.
It's like, hi, how you doing?
Hey
Take a
there.
look in here. What's going on?
I lean back in the chair. First of all of the places that I've been to recently, they now give you sunglasses because the lights that they use are so bright.
You know,
2 different
I've seen
places have given me sunglasses. Though I had to give them back.
Sunglasses.
Yeah,
Doing my own.
super cool.
What the heck?
So I lean back, I open my mouth, and the first thing she says is, "Oh, you have really big tonsils." I'm like, "What the fuck? Who says that? Just fucking work on my tooth. Get out of here."
That's a
I don't know
compliment, man.
That means that they need to get removed. Is it bad to have big tonsils?
Yes,
Is that a compliment?
Yes. As I was a 20-year-old kid that like my throat swelled shut because my tonsils got so big.
Okay.
It is a bad thing. It means that you've had constant infections. Do you get like really bad strep throat or like
I've never had strep.
You
I also don't get
got
sick.
big old balls in the back of that throat.
You got big mouth balls, son. So I have one final question, and you guys feel free to ask or answer anything after this, and then I want to jump into the Q&A. We have a lot of Q&A questions to get through, and I fucking love Q&A. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. So what is, Conbot, I want you to answer this first for no reason other than I like your mouth. What is the hardest lesson that you have learned streaming on Twitch?
Oh boy.
You looking for a Mars bar over there?
I think okay. So the other week when I asked that little question on this podcast, you guys were giving it to me straight, and I was like, okay, shit, yeah, like can't focus on the numbers. Like I shouldn't set like weird number ultimatums for myself. That's some dumb stuff. Like that's something that I was thinking in my head I should do that, and then it was like, nope, stop. So that was like one of the lessons that I kind of like learned out of nowhere, I guess. It was like something I was thinking of in the moment. Like I didn't spend a whole lot of time like dwelling on it, but it's just like, oh, I like to come up with questions for like stuff like this. So I was like, oh, this would be a good question.
I think that was a not so obvious product of your subconscious. Like it's something that might have been on your mind for a while, and you're like, boom, yeah, big words. Yeah, and I mean, and dude, if we haven't all been through it already, we're gonna hit it. Like we all hit that part at one point or another, and I hit that part multiple times over the course of my streaming career. So when I heard you ask that, like when I read that question, I felt like it was myself asking me a question from the past. And I think that's why I had such a quick answer to it. Because I'm like, oh, I fucking know this shit like the back of my hand. I've been battling these demons for years.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Gent?
The hardest thing I had to learn, I mean, mine was for sure shut every number off. Like that, like I would get depressed because like I had a crazy like rise, you know, and then I jumped off the game that did it, and then it went away, you know, and it's like, you know, I would watch every day, and like, you know, people that were just starting out would get above and so on and so forth, and you would quantify like yourself by a number. And that would always like just mess with my head. Another one is that this is for anyone that's thinking about streaming, do not pick your like channel art until you are sure, until you are 100% like what you want your channel to be. Because when I first started out, I just got the cheapest because I thought it was something that you needed to do, and it's like, you know, it was a turd sandwich. It was a giant turd sandwich that I got, you know.
As a counterpoint to what you just said, I would urge people to not spend a lot of time on graphics and fancy things.
Don't spend money on it.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Especially
Is
when
like
you first
just
start.
do not do it. Like
Yep.
you don't need
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things that you don't need. You like, you'll fall into your role or your channel or whatever you want to be, you know, and people will get this concept for you, and it you can grow it from there.
Mm-hmm. One thing that can always change is the channel art. And you'll get the people that come in and go, whoa, your camera looks great. Whoa, your office is awesome. None of that keeps people around. Nobody sticks around to watch your stream because of how fancy your graphics are or how cool your office is. It is the personality, it is the content, it is the game, it is the meat of your content that is going to keep people around. So while it's good to be conscious, like if you want to know what bad stream layouts look like, there is a Twitter out there. As long as your stream doesn't look like that, if you have a camera in a corner and it's a decent size to where everybody can see the gameplay, you're gonna do okay. And with that, I will say that your personality can evolve just as much as your art can. If you would all have seen my first 3 years, we're just gonna go with the first half of my streaming career. I was a boring, unenergetic sack of shit, and I would not have watched me if somebody paid me to do so. So just keep that in mind. There are some clips and some highlights out there that'll kind of give you an idea. And we watched a little bit of it on my 5-year anniversary stream, and it is terrible. So just remember that that's all stuff that can evolve over time. Jen, did you have anything else before I moved on to Gray?
No, Gray, let's hear it. What's the hardest?
So I'm a perfectionist, and my biggest thing was always just making sure that everything was perfect by my standards. And with streaming, I've kind of learned to let that go a little bit, where I'm not like, if I am too hard on myself in regards to how everything looks, how everything runs, and when it stops working, and if everything gets a little, you know, on the fritz, I get down on myself a lot. So I started to learn, like with streaming, I've learned to kind of let things go a little bit and just be okay when things don't work out, because in life, with anything in life, sometimes things don't work out, and you kind of just have to release that like perfectionist aspect of everything just being the way you want it to be. So that was for me the biggest part, is just letting go of some of those aspects.
When you let go, do you go like, that's all right, I'll let it go? Do you ever hit the I don't give a fuck, I'm just moving on from this, I give no shits? Like, do you ever
I think there's been like 1 or 2 times that I've definitely done that, where it's just like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, there's some times where I'm just kind of working off stream and I'm going through stuff, and like maybe it's like creating a thumbnail. I'm trying to create like a thumbnail that I can use over and over and over again, And I just get to a point where I go, fuck, I don't care. And then
like exactly like that, screaming at the monitor, everything. Yes. Done.
What I will say is one of the benefits of kind of growing that is totally outside of numbers is having the resources to pay other people to do the shit that you do not care to do. And you guys would be surprised at how much money your friends would accept just in order to be able to help you as a content creator. I have two people, both Vans and Bowie, that do not get a lot of money. I give what I can, but there are two people that just give me their time in order to help me create because they believe in what I do. And people think like, oh man, like I can't ask other people for help because like I can't pay them a lot. There are people that are willing to help you out for free. And there are people who are willing to pay you in order to help you out because they're either that good of a friend or they believe in you that much. I hate like doing like VODs and doing highlighting and thumbnails and YouTube tags. I hate having to like try to plan upload times and I just want to create this stuff. I hate all of that extra stuff. So what I'll say is if you guys are a streamer and there's stuff that you hate, the minute you have any sort of expendable income, find somebody else to do some of the stuff that you just don't want to do. Because I can tell you, it is so lovely. It is so fucking valuable. I absolutely love not only Bowie and Vans. Weenie used to create all of my going live. Like she created a shit ton of going live pictures for me to upload on Twitter. And it's a simple thing, but oh my god, when she started doing that for me, I was like, damn god, I love you so much. Thank you. I can't do this shit anymore because you can really bury yourself in work if you're not paying attention. Yeah. Alrighty. Move on to the Q&A here. Thank you guys, everybody that has submitted questions. We have plenty, so we're gonna cut it off there. But I appreciate everybody that threw in some questions. I'm using a different CSV viewer, so if some of these questions got cut off, I apologize. Shit is continuing to break and there's nothing that I can do. But here are the questions. First one comes from Hellhound. Did you check the gas in the stream PC? Okay. Hellhound is making a joke because I ran out of gas coming back from Starbucks today. I saw the gas was low light on Friday coming home from work, and then I proceeded to ignore that light for the next couple days. And you know how like there's usually some sort of build up to running out of gas? It's like my car just dead. Just dead in the middle of the road. I'm like,
oh, like, no, I'm done.
I just ran out of gas. And then thankfully I was able to pull over and it was super close to a gas station. But yeah, I ran out of gas. Today was the first day in like 9 years, I think, like 8 or 9 years that I've ran out of gas. Good times. I got a little jog in, feeling frisky. It's all good.
Exercise is good.
Next question comes from Paul. Is anyone wearing pants? Some sort of pants. They're shorts, but
I am.
No pants.
No comment.
I considered not, but I was like, there might be a chance that I'll move, so I don't do this.
I rolled mine up.
There might be a chance that I move.
If I'm not streaming myself, I'm not gonna lie. I do not like wearing pants. It's just annoying.
Fuck them.
I have door pants to take out the dog, and that is it.
Door pants. That needs to be marketed. Get that out there.
I like it.
Take the dog out door pants. Yeah.
Next question from Sinner TV. Marvel or DC? So hold up a 1 for Marvel and a 2 for DC.
Star Wars.
Gray, one hand.
I love Batman though, but I still love like Marvel's universe is pretty damn great.
Right.
But Batman's my favorite. So.
Easy
For middle-aged stream, what aspect of streaming do you like the least? Is there something about streaming that bothers you or is more difficult for you than other people?
Whoever wants to start.
The technical, like, audio and video and plug this in to get that and put this on this thing, like, stop.
See, for me, it depends because I kind of like learning new stuff and it gets me excited, and then that just expands my lightly knowing of things resume, I guess. I don't know what my the worst thing. I don't know.
I hate having to keep up with social media algorithms and planning out certain content to abide by those just to kind of be seen.
That right there.
I think that's one of the most exhausting things is like, oh, you have to post this, but you can't put a link in the description. You have to put it in the first comment. And also you can't have this certain image or else you'll be blacklisted. And you have to like research these most recent used tags in order to get the best eyesight on your, it's like, fuck God. But it's the nature of the beast. It's one thing that you kind of just have to familiarize yourself with in order to kind of make it or to be seen.
No.
Just no to all
Mine
of
is
that.
social
No
media.
to all
Man.
of it.
I cannot even get myself in the middle of my day to stop and post one thing. I don't know
struggle with
why.
that too.
Dude, so like, you know, I'll be in the middle of a program or like in the middle of thinking about something. I cannot stop myself. If I do, my brain will just be like, and we're done for the day. We're done.
Right.
So yeah, social media is my biggest trouble because I know that I could outreach so much more if I could just find the time. And I've had people come forward and say they'd help me, you know, and help me with an account or like help me post or stuff like that. But like, I don't know. I want it to be genuine, especially on social media, because that's kind of like the next step away from you is like you're posting about your life and what you're doing. So yeah, social media for me is just an absolute kick in the pants.
What I will recommend, and this is what I do, I have a Google Doc, of course. Google Doc is Bay.
It is. It really is though. It's the
They're
best.
good.
It's just called weekly content schedule, and there is a very loose guideline of what content I want to post on what platforms every week. When I started the document, there was two things. One on a Monday and one thing on a Thursday. Just one piece of stream-oriented content. Just start with Twitch clips. Just ask. What I did was I just asked my community, hey, I am looking for clips to be able to put out on social media. If you clip it, send it to me. I'll shout you out on Twitter. I'll shout you out on Instagram and then post the clip. If you start with just some sort of ritual like that, doing all of the other stuff will not seem so daunting all the time. Just start with like one clip a week on a Wednesday. Just try and find one clip of yourself to upload to both Twitter and Instagram, and then you can just kind of move up from there.
See, like that's where I get in trouble because like where Gray's perfectionism comes in, it's like I need a landing page that says clip of the week. And if I don't have that, then I am absolutely a turd.
I've been there, dude. Just it's so easy to be overcomplicated because you want, again, perfectionism. You want everything to be a certain way, but the reality is the only thing somebody needs to see is a video in their feed. They're scrolling, there needs to be a video. It'll either autoplay or they'll click on it and it'll play, and then they just move on with their day.
Simple, short, quick, and eye-catching.
Yep.
All I need.
What I do I loosely at the beginning of every month is I download all of my clips that happened in the previous month. And then I go, okay, I have 10 clips that I like. I put 2 and I put week 1. I take 2 of the clips, I put them in week 2. And then I know like for that entire month, the only effort is finding that clip on my phone and uploading it. It's already been clipped. It's already been categorized. I know what week it needs to be uploaded. And then it's just there. And I can't stress enough how many clips I take myself. Do not be afraid to clip shit yourself because I find myself really funny when nobody else finds me funny. And you have to fucking love yourself, man. You have to.
My chat makes fun of me for laughing at myself.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I watch clips on my own stream and I'm just
I have
like,
my own laugh track.
yeah, exactly. You have to find yourself
Nobody's
funny.
laughing.
So if I was to show you like how many clips that I upload are done by me because I found it funny and not community oriented, because I know what it's like to like just be starting out on Twitch, not to have as many people in chat or not as many people clipping things, and it's like you feel like you have to pick up a lot of that slack. What I can say is that if you put that effort forward you will see the results on your stream, and then that kind of stuff will to balance out. The same thing with like when you start out, you're creating your own overlays, you are creating your own thumbnails, you're doing your own graphics, you're doing your own sound effects, and then as you kind of get to grow, you get to offload some of those responsibilities to other people, and it allows you, to focus on the things that you want to focus. The problem is you have to eat shit for a long time before you get to that, and I know that doesn't seem really appealing. But yeah, that's kind of how
You
it
are
is.
selling the shit out of that. Oh my God. I am compelled.
People think my teeth are yellow from the coffee. No, it's because I
Nice.
eat feces. All right. Did everybody answer that question?
Think
Yeah.
so?
Yes. Great.
Okay.
Did you?
Did I?
Perfectionist?
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
We got
fucking
there.
did
We
We
did
got
it.
through it.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got
brother.
it.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, only 17 more questions to go. This one from Center TV. How do you guys entertain your viewers the best way?
Oh.
I think that's very
Ooh.
subjective.
Yeah,
Right?
because everybody sees
Yeah.
things differently and they find things differently fun or funny. That
Like,
was
do
a
you? I guess.
Terrible sentence.
Do you find yourself informative, funny, or like competitive? Is I guess where you were. I would say is where it comes from, because I would say funny and competitive, because I really like the multiplayer aspect. Like, Knackers just tried to sway me to solo player games, and like I cannot do it.
No,
I
no.
have to be able to shoot things. I have to be able to like say I'm better than you. Ha ha. Like
I definitely, like, if I was to mark categories, I would say informative, and I try and be funny. I've never asked anybody if I'm funny. Nobody answer that. I'm just going to believe inside that I am funny.
Yeah, don't look at chat right now.
I definitely, like, when I go, okay, what kind of content do I want to create? It is an almost even split between comedic and informative. The reason I always leave my DMs open for technical support is I love teaching people about technology. I love teaching people how to do things. I see incredible value in it, and I truly believe that being somebody who knows a good bit about technology, I have a responsibility to help others, not at their expense. Like, there's no reason people need to pay for knowledge. It's, I got all of my knowledge for free, and everybody else should be able to get it in the exact same way. So I definitely see my most value. Mike and Monitors just went to sleep. I see my most valuable value in informative, and then with like comedy being like a close second.
I would say that people don't watch me because of my video game skills. Not good at that. I've realized that very much, that I'm okay at playing video games.
Maybe that's why they watch, because you're just so okay.
Maybe that could be the wow, look at this guy, he sucks. Makes them feel better about themselves.
Did you
know?
just admit to having like
no,
the
that's why
ugly
people like me.
girlfriend syndrome, where like the hot girls hang out with the not so hot girls to make them feel better about themselves? Did you just admit that here on Crocs and Hot Pockets?
It's the gaming version though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's it's Gamergate now. Okay.
Yeah.
The female
Gamergate.
gamer version. I see where you're going with this, dog.
Oh, man. So going back to the stuff that makes me laugh, I think the dumb jokes, I think I strive to make the most dumb jokes as I can every night. If something comes in my head, if a bit, I like to call things bits now. If a bit comes into my head, I go for it. I full send the bit. So yeah, not for the video games, for the bits surrounding the video game.
Oh, he's in it for the money, chat. That's what he just said.
Yep, in it for the money.
Biddies.
Oh, fuck. I had something cool to say about that, and now it's all gone. Sorry, I'm like a real life Twitch chat, just twisting your words, Conbot. You're gonna end up on live stream fails in a hot second here.
Talk about
I
clout
would-
chasing.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess I kind of already answered that question. Next question from Paul. Is it possible to peer pressure Conbot into upgrading his background setup by calling his ass out in the Q&A portion of the podcast?
Are you making fun of my green screen? Is this what this is?
Do not,
I
do not
think so.
stream shame. Do not stream shame
I
right now.
I go back and forth on the whole green screen or not. Like, I think green screen is really fun for some things, and also my room is not very interesting. So it's just like a bed and like a chair. I have you probably can't see it. I have an Edgar Allan Poe picture over there, but that's about it. I don't even really like him.
But he's just there. His
He's just
hands
Just
there.
hanging on your wall, hanging
Um,
out every day.
I don't know. I want to have like the cool background with the lights and the stuff and cool stuff like that. But part of me is like, green screen's also goofy and it fits, I think, my style of, like I said, dumb jokes. Green screen is by far one of the best tools if you're out there trying to make dumb jokes.
Oh yeah.
You make so many dumb jokes with a green screen.
I
You
have
can
to.
do a lot with one too.
And it's useful, yeah. It's so
Yeah.
useful.
I have
There's
to
times
shout
where
out
I really wish I could.
another streamer friend of mine named Spexy, who was introduced to me by Mr. 42. She is the OBS green screen creative master when it comes to scenes. She has like, when a raid comes in, she has herself like in a helicopter and she'll drag herself like she's flying through the scene and she'll flip through like 4, 5, 6 different things of just all these ridiculous scenes. She has one where like she's in the studio, like, you know, the cowbell scene from SNL. She has one where she's like, she's in the booth with cowbell and it's amazing. So I don't know how to spell her Twitch name. I think it's SPECZII. I don't know. She's fucking fantastic. I wish I had a green screen. I miss having a green
You go back
screen.
and forth. You go
I
back
know.
and forth, right? Like, I think if I decided
Always.
to get rid of it, I'd
Yeah.
be like, I want it back. But I
You
don't
could
know.
go. You could go get one of the Papa ones that you attach to a chair.
Those are expensive.
Yeah.
What?
Unbelievably
They're
expensive.
$50.
Yeah, they have ones that you
that-
just pop on
that's-
your chair. But then you have to like fiddle with the green screen and do it and then take it off, put it somewhere and stuff. There's times where I'm thinking about different scenes that I'd love to set up that would work better with a green screen. I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that, but it just looks ridiculous with a squared
Right.
image of my background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could do the green screen, take a shot of your room, and then green screen the room into it. But then it's
See,
just
I've thought
Weird.
about doing like because you have the multi-cam set. You could green screen like a wall.
Over here.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you could hit it because where I've seen it where like someone had a green screen in a trash can or something like that, and she like pops in and she's like, "Oh hey, didn't see you down there. I see you just being a shitter," and then she like puts the trash back in front of it. But like the one that I thought was like, I turned fast in the gentleman's club and like it was a bar. Oh, welcome in. Like that would be something really cool to do.
yeah.
But yeah, I haven't run that past the
Dude.
one yet, so we'll see.
If you did like, just for your intro of, you had an entire wall that was green screened, but a bar, and you just started off the stream as Mr. Bartender, and you just sat there
Just making drinks.
going around making drinks, like,
Flipping
you
shit.
just have like, you can have
Breaking
recordings
everything.
of people like sitting at the bar, and you could just be like going to different people and acting like you're different people in chat, hammer conversation. That would be awesome. Copyright, trademark, can't use it.
Well, this was that was great, Knackers. I appreciate it, but I'll never use it.
All right.
Well, no, that's the. I've also gone back and forth on the green screen. It's been one of those things. Like, I love my background. I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome. But there's also those cool things where you look at like people that like Sushi Dragon, that just it's over the top
Right.
of green screen.
Yep. Dude, he's fucking amazing. Oh my
He
god.
is.
He's insane.
Yeah, I popped into his stream today. He's been getting a lot of hosts and raids from massive people. He had fucking Andy Milanakis in, and they were rap battling each other. It was fucking awesome. I'm so happy
Yeah.
for that guy. Gray, did you answer how you entertain your viewers in the best way? Like how you
No.
personally like to entertain? Fucking answer it.
You skipped it over.
I was like, yes, I got out of it.
No, not today.
Oh, man.
I don't know. People tell me that I'm funny, but I don't think I'm funny. I just make fun of I guess making fun of yourself is kind of funny. I do that a lot.
Humor.
I love the
Yes,
way that
but
you
I
shit on
do.
creeps.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah. I do a lot of
She's
I
like,
mean,
yes, I love
I've
that.
dealt with creeps for freaking ever.
Yeah,
Like
for-
I mean, Yeah, oh yeah. With like I used to play World of Warcraft all the time, and just being a female in Ventrilo voice, like be like, oh my god, it's female, oh my god, and be like, oh cool, tell me more about your life, I don't care, and just like shit on them and stuff. But
Do you love that? Is that like just like does that just feel like free content when I it must get tiring, you know, of course, but like
there's
when you just
times
get to unload.
there's times where it's good and funny. Honestly, when it's live, it's kind of funny, and then when it's in the DMs, it's like, okay, please,
Oh
just
yeah.
chill, like stop, can you cut it out?
One thing that I will say is that, again, going back to my original point of you get what energy you're putting out. And like 98% of the time, Gray meets all creeps with kindness and with a smile. And he's usually nice at first. And that's honestly like whenever I get fucking fly. Whenever I hear about people complaining about their channel, Gray never complains about the people who are just like creepy and disgusting in her channel. She's always focused on the people that are doing good and the people that are welcoming and like the best people of her community. And that's how, Gray, I see your perspective of like, I see how you look at your own channel and I see how many fucking creeps you get. And I never hear you fucking complain about it. And then I see other people who it's just like, it's creeps and trolls and mean people just nonstop. You got to look at who the streamer is and what kind of vibe they're putting out to get those constant, people. And that's not, it has nothing to do, like, there's people that are going to take this out of context and be like, oh, well, is he talking about there's girls who are wearing certain things and they're getting it? I'm like, no, I'm talking about the way that they're how they treat other people, like on a day-to-day basis, how they treat the people that come into their stream. Are they constantly mad? Are they constantly angry? Are they constantly mean? Do they treat people like shit? When you treat people shit, it makes people want to come in and treat you like shit. And if you're always fucking kind and you're always nice, so I always notice that about you, Gray, how you treat almost everybody very, very nice, and everyone in your community is so nice. However, when you go off, it is great. It is fucking fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Hell yeah.
I try to keep track of all the creepy people, and it's ridiculous with the DMs and stuff. I gotta let you see some of those.
You gotta keep them receipts.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That, sign me up for that. I want to start putting it on Twitter. I'm gonna read it like it's a book. Just so.
I could probably honestly
Actually,
make a book.
You could get so many like Reddit karma for all that. Just creepy PMs or
yeah.
There you go. Just there you go.
Time to get to work, baby.
Get paid. Get paid.
Do any of you? I don't peg any of you as these type of people. Do any of you have friends that love being a dick or being mean to be funny? My fucking monitors. And how do you receive that type of humor?
I like being mean to people sometimes.
Okay.
It's certain friends, right? Like I think kind of making fun of people in like a light, friendly way is sometimes a good time. Yeah.
And what if the only way of being funny was being mean or insulting? Like, do you find yourself get sick of that easily?
You can't just do it. Yeah, you can't do it all the time, right? Sometimes it's fun. It makes sense in the situation to just be like funnily mean. But you can't do it all the time. You got to mix it up. You got to do some different bits.
Bits, okay.
The bits.
Yeah.
Do any of you have people in your chat that are just always mean, always insulting you? Does that wear on you?
Yes. I was first, Gray. Back off.
You're first.
Okay. I have a couple that are really abrasive. That are like, there's only one opinion. And the opinion in chat is that one, and that wears on me. Like if I'm sitting here being open-minded and I'm telling my chat to be open-minded, you also need to abide by those rules and be open-minded enough. You know, like there are people from every walks of life here, and it needs to flow over. You know what I mean? Like I don't care who the hell you are. I don't care what you believe, where you lie on any type of thing. But when you come into my chat, it needs to be open conversation or no conversation. You know, I'm very strong about that. That pisses me off to no end because I hate getting a DM after a stream or after a Discord conversation saying, "Wow, X is being such a dick." You know?
Yeah.
I hate it. That's the most annoying thing.
That's why I make my stream more like specifically no political aspects, no like heavily opinionated type of conversations and topics, because I know that there are people that are like very one-sided and very other-sided, and I don't want heads clashing. There's been times where there are a lot of like one or two people that'll come in and have very strong opinions about something, and I'm kind of just like, that's great, I'm really proud of your opinion, you know, stand by that, fantastic, but that's not how we like interact here. We're kind of just very open with everything and are willing to listen to other opinions, but don't attack other people because of your beliefs and the way that you feel because they feel something opposing yours.
Yeah.
That's just how I try to handle it. It's always very awkward too. It's just like, oh, please stop.
Yeah, like oh, I'm
Please,
just
I
playing
don't know what to do.
Bioshock. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, but
Where'd that come from?
Mine has like spanned off of like had X restaurant for lunch.
Fucking
And
then
McDonald's
people
was the
just-
worst shit.
Someone's just like, it's like, okay, I really love their hamburgers. Jesus,
I hate
so
Taco Bell.
Oh, it must have been a Five Guys like in and out conversation,
Guys.
probably,
Well,
wasn't it?
No,
boy.
it's think more Midwest.
Five Guys sucks.
No, think more Midwest.
Wait, what did
Chick-fil-A.
you just say?
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Dude,
Chick-fil-A.
just like you say anything about that, it's just
So I try talking about giving benefit of the doubt. There was somebody that I followed for a good while, and I'm both on Twitter and on Twitch. And then have you ever had some like just the wrong day, somebody say stupid on social media and it just set you off and you just unfollow them?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
I tend not to unfollow. I tend to mute.
Mute.
Okay.
Mute's a
Oh, okay.
very useful tool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've muted quite a few.
Somebody went off like visibly angry about how anybody thought Chick-fil-A was good and was like, I can't believe you people eat this shit. It's not even good fast food, blah, blah, blah. Was actually mad, like recorded a long Twitter video about it. And I went, you are the last person I ever want to have a conversation with. Like, you actually took time out of your day to be actually angry about what other people like to eat. And we're just so caught up that I was like, yeah, you're gone. That was the last time I've ever interacted with that person. Now, could have been on my man period that day. Could have been a little sensitive. But
Don't you
when
talk shit about them waffle fries.
because Chick-fil-A's fucking
Periods
good.
happen, man. It happens, all right?
Waffle fries are so great.
Oh man, now that they have that cheese, fuck me, dude.
Man, I'm so hungry now. Damn it.
Okay, everyone calm down.
All right, we're moving along. Nice one, Jen. You see what you started?
Fat kids starting food talks. Yep, absolutely.
Next question from Gamers for Life. What was the biggest challenge you faced growing your channel?
Ooh. Game switches.
Finding games. Like I feel like it's hard for me to like find games that will fit with my channel, if that makes any sense. Which is who knows what those are.
Yep. I will say abiding by all of
TOS.
like the normal TOS, like
Abiding by the rules.
yeah, all the rules.
Rules.
I would say game choice is one of my biggest things. For the first 3 years, I didn't care about what game I chose. And then for the next 2 years after that, or a year and a half, I just played games that my community chose. And if for anybody, like, bye, Jen.
He almost fell.
Make way, gotta
A little
move.
bit. It looked like a too quick of a turn.
I hate that you have to keep game choice in mind in order to grow.
Yeah.
Being somebody who takes this as a serious hobby, I don't like having to make game choices based on viewership. I just like being able to play what I want to play. But at the same time, when you're not seeing any growth, you go, why aren't I growing? And it's like, well, it's because you're not playing by the rules. That's why. And one of the rules is you have to be strategic about what you play when you play it so that you have a better chance of getting eyes on you. And that's just kind of one of the unfortunate truths of it. I would say that's probably one of my biggest challenges.
I'd have to say that's mine as well.
Yeah. Game choice is a big thing. When I hit a point streaming where I thought that I was doing everything right. And I was like, audio's good, video's good. I have a good community. Twitter and Discord are doing well. Instagram's doing well. Like, we're slowly growing. And I'm like, but I'm still not playing games strategically. I'm still playing what I want to play. And the fact of the matter is, if you want to grow and you want people to watch you no matter what you play, you have to be willing to play what you don't want to play. And there's nothing in the streaming rule book that says you are allowed to play whatever you want whenever you want, and you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want with your stream, and you're going to be successful. Just like any job, you have to do certain things that you don't like in order to pay the bills, and that does not change with streaming, in my opinion.
I agree.
Game choice is rough.
I was looking back on old videos or old streams, and I remember a time period where I played a lot of just one game, only one game for 12 hours a day, just continuously. And now those numbers, viewer-wise, was so much higher than now when I switch up the different games. But I'm so much happy. I mean, like, I guess it was kind of equally happiness. It was just because I was like super into that one game. Yep. But now it's like constantly mindful of, okay, well, what are we playing? How are we gonna make sure that, people are interested in this?
Did you hear the question, Jen, or did I say it when you were gone?
Oh, no.
What was the biggest challenge you faced growing your channel?
Oh. Yeah, I said game changes, but it's more or less been that, I got tired or the community got tired of games that were being played. And, the Switches just kind of dropped everything off.
It's like Ray said, viewership wise, I haven't experienced it personally because I've been variety for so long. The only game that I've played extensively was Rocket League. But I distinctly remember viewership always being lower when I would switch to Rocket League. It was never the other way around. I have a good handful of core people that fucking love the Rocket League streams and they miss them. But for the most part, whenever I would go back and look at my numbers for a stream, whenever Rocket League came up, my numbers were cut in half, if not more than that. So what I will say is after 6 years of doing variety, and being able to play Getting Over It one day and then build keyboards the next day and have the same viewership, it's rewarding as fuck. And I even though it's the long game, like I said, 6 years, and you can make whatever kind of judgment you want about the growth of my channel after 6 years of streaming, I am fucking happy. And being able to play whatever the hell with a supportive community is fucking priceless. Where'd my questions go? Do you have something, Conbot?
No.
So you had a deep inhale, like you're about to take that dick. Next question. Oh, okay. So I'm going to answer this one from Middle-Aged Stream before it goes away. Mustaches. Sexy, erotic, sensual, all of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Sensual.
Prominently sensual.
Yeah, predominantly.
Yes, all.
I'm pretty confidently gay. I'm okay talking about dicks. I'm okay, like, if my dick brushes up against another dude, not the end of the world. Like, I'm totally fine with a lot of, like, just gay shit. I love it all. A gay life is a happy life. I don't find...
Doesn't gay also mean happy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
There you
it
go.
does.
I don't see mustaches as like I don't see it as erotic. I definitely see mustaches as like,
Have you
Dope.
never looked at Burt Reynolds? You know, mid mustache.
I don't get the
Come
hype
on.
with Burt Reynolds, man.
Whoa.
I really don't. Great.
Grace,
Who the fuck is Burt Reynolds?
Burt Reynolds?
Yeah, but
Sam Elliott, you know, like those guys that like Tombstone era like mustaches. Oh,
that.
golly.
But do you see that as erotic or like?
It can be.
I mean, like, yeah,
don't
I see it in
personally.
that movie. That's powerful. It's powerful right there.
That's powerful mustache.
Has anybody seen the movie Tombstone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I think
those
I
types
should.
of mustaches.
Yeah.
Those are sexy. They're sexy stashes. It's kind of like I'm not gonna fuck you because of your mustache, but if we're fucking and I notice your mustache, I'm gonna say, nice. All right, cool. I made the right decision.
Hold
I
on.
noticed your
Hold on.
mustache.
Hold on. Gray, did you just type in Tombstone into your Google
Are
browser?
you
right?
watching my freaking screen
Are
right
you?
now?
Did you? Excuse me. Okay.
Moving along.
Yep.
This might go down as one of the best Q&As ever. Next question from Von Gerstenberg.
Nailed it.
Got it.
Got it.
I don't know you find folks well, and I'm newer to the podcast. Could you each name a favorite game?
Ooh. Okay.
Let's go.
Hellblade.
Oh, what?
Hellblade.
Hellblade? Okay, so
Hellblade,
are we
I
going
like
with like past
Sacrifice.
decade?
You decide.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
ambiguous question. Let's go.
Let's go last decade. So it's like, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Wait, I don't know when everything came out.
Mine's
yeah,
The
same.
Last of Us. I love that game.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't know if mine came out in the last 10 years. When did New Vegas come out? Was that last 10 years?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you're
It's
good.
either that or let's go like more recent. Probably like Red Dead Redemption 2. Like if we're going real recent, that one was really good for me.
I just
That's
fucking
what I like.
unloaded chat, but that's okay. I'm gonna have to take a look at my game list and what I play because I know that there's something there. Jack 2 is definitely not on that list.
What?
Far Cry 5. I really, really loved Far Cry 5. And I don't think it was that good of a game. Just every aspect about it, being able to punch out allies, like the animals, the gunplay, the story. I loved everything about that game. I'm never able to choose one thing. So my second within the past 10 years is Witcher 3. I think Witcher 3 is just a fucking masterpiece of a video game. I absolutely love it. And that's coming from somebody who didn't think they were going to love Witcher 3. I didn't think I was going to like it at all.
I really need to dabble back into that. I started playing that whenever I first started streaming, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is great," but it just seemed like such a long game, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do that because of Call of Duty or some shit." So I stopped playing it. But now there's like the Netflix show, and like, oh dang,
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to play.
Speaking
that.
of mustaches,
Yeah, Geralt's
Woo!
What are you
he's the
talking about?
guy.
Yeah, Geralt's got it.
He's got it going on. I'll
Yeah.
say that much.
this next question just says knackers, mustaches, sexy. It was a fucked up question
Agreed.
entry from the previous one.
Agreed.
Next question from Tom Chambers. Your thoughts on Ninja situation?
Ooh.
I won't answer this because I already had an entire podcast dedicated to this. If you guys want to answer this while I go tinkle super fast, you are more than welcome.
All right.
Okay. Go
Does
ahead,
anyone
Gray.
want to go first? All right.
Go, Gray.
All right.
I was just gonna say that I think I understand his moves. I'm sure there's a lot of other things behind the scenes that are a factor, which could be very beneficial to him, his family, his future, and everything like that. And that's amazing for him.
Are you talking about money?
Well, money and also just different. I mean, like I don't really know. Like no one knows the deal behind it all that could factor in. Someone mentioned something of like having a percentage of something, and then like that. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's an actual thing, but it could be very beneficial. I think he, in regards to the thing that happened on his channel in the previous episode, the 100th episode, that they discussed with the porn being displayed on his channel, I think he took that in the best way that he possibly could and responded to that in like the highest road possible. I don't have any hate towards him. I don't have any like thing where it's like, oh man, it's like good for him, like that he's making moves for himself that he feels happy about or benefit in a lot of ways. And I don't know, it's kind of very indifferent about it. Just like, yeah, good for him, kind of thing.
Same. That's where I'm at. It's like let him do what he wants to do. It's like I think people. I mean, it is a big deal, and people are definitely talking about it because it's a big deal. But it's a little bit too big of a deal, in my opinion. Like it's
like people are making it out to be too much.
Yeah, it's like
big of a deal.
Yeah, if you get a business opportunity that's like really good and it's going to help, yeah, you're going to take it. There you go.
I also feel like with his audience and how he grew so quickly and just knowing the pressures that he probably feels with being from what I understand, he was a Halo streamer, or he's like would play Halo all the time and be himself. And then when he started doing Fortnite, he had to kind of be a little more restrictive and a little more family friendly. And I know like how heavily that could be pressure wise for him, mentally draining him every day. Like, oh man, I have to stop myself from saying fuck or something. And just making that shift could possibly open him up to be himself again in some way, some capacity. So I get that. Sorry, I cut you off.
Who?
I cut you off.
Well, I didn't notice it, so you got away with it. Yeah.
I think it's a really good thing, honestly. I mean, like, you know, yes, he made moves for himself. Everyone knows that. You know, money was involved. Do I think what's happened to his channel is a good thing? No. No one should be treated like that. He built that empire. It's no one else. Twitch didn't build that empire, you know. But like I feel like I'm excited because the fact is that now Mixer's in the mix, man. I mean, like if they keep their you know stuff rolling out, you know, Twitch is gonna have to pay attention because if they don't,
Good.
Yeah, it's a great thing for us. It's a great thing for everyone.
Competition is necessary
and
for growth and just better.
And if you know, you can't tell me that you know, once Microsoft did this whole thing or Mixer, you know, everyone behind it isn't going to put 110% behind it, then you're crazy. So, you know, Mixer is going to become a great place for people that don't have access to computers to stream on. And that's going to be a great thing for people. So, I mean, it's going to bring even more people to every platform. You know, I think it's a good thing. I think his move should not have been as quote unquote televised as it was because it really didn't matter. It's his choice. It's in the agreements, you know, no one cares.
Right.
But the fact is that everyone made it that. And, you know, like all of then to actually have all the big guys go, it's not going to matter, guys. We can still play with, you know, X. We can still do this, you know, I think that's where I kind of lost it. But like the whole thought of it was, this is really good.
I think with Twitch, I think with Twitch advertising on his channel, I understand the business aspect of it, and I am not really like against that they did it. The only thing would be obviously the content in which was promoted. Just because it's like, you know, they would promote him across all of Twitch. Why not use the channel that still thousands of people were going to help pull in new viewers to other channels that are actually active on the channel or on the platform. Yeah, sorry, that was all.
Okay. Next question from Filer. We're halfway through. You guys aren't dying yet, are you?
No, we're good.
Okay.
I'm dead on the inside. It's okay.
Gray's fresh off a 24-hour stream, and now we're just berating her with questions.
I have to be up at 3 a.m. just saying.
Oh my God. Okay.
And drive like 4 hours, but I'm fine. We're good.
Okay. All right. Next question from Filer. How bad is it to take a break from streaming when you are just growing like from 1 viewer to 10 average?
It's terrible. Don't let anyone lie to you.
Taking a break is?
Yeah, it's one of the worst things you can do. If you're really seriously about trying to grow a stream, consistency is one of the biggest things. Like, granted, you know, I feel like there are those people that are going to come back no matter what, right? But like, if you're going to start from 1 to 10, those people are still gaining trust into you. You know, like those people are like having a tough time. So like, I feel like taking a break when you're really young or like really early on in your Twitch career is a tough aspect. I'm not saying you need to kill yourself and do 5 days a week, 7 days a week, but like 3 days a week constantly is a good way to go. I saw Gray is
No, I'm just having
She
mixed
made some
feelings about
faces.
breaks. I make a lot of faces. That's
My
just
favorite
honestly.
is the typing. Oh.
I'm just trying to be quiet.
who is Burt Reynolds?
Who is it? In regards to breaks, okay, so I took like a forced break for 2 weeks recently, like the past 2 weeks, literally the past 2 weeks. And I struggled so much and for so long thinking about taking that break. And honestly, as hard as it is when you're growing to take a break, I think having a clear head, making sure that you mentally, physically, and just like emotionally are okay enough to be constantly on is so important. So like I stream all the time, and I stream for many hours at a time, and it's draining. And if you don't allow yourself those breaks, you're going to burn out. And I didn't reach the point of burnout, but I just was like, I'm questioning it. Like, should I do it? Because I probably should. Maybe no. I
Good
don't know.
move.
Yeah, I feel good about it. I'm a little, honestly, I'm a little mad because I tried to do, like, I listened to chat and they were like, oh, you need to just like rest. I couldn't do the resting thing. I was just like itchy to do work, and I'm like, oh, I could be taking this break to do off stream work, and why am I not doing it? And then I extended it a little bit further. But I think even when you're still trying to grow, if you come back, if you take a break and you're just like weary, you're not sure how you're feeling, and then you come back stronger and better and you're able to be more focused, then I think that it's really beneficial to do. Even though it might be hard number-wise to get that momentum back up, I think in the long run, it's more beneficial for yourself and in total for the community as well, because you'll be on your A game if you take that break. Versus just letting yourself wear down, let that battery run dry, and just be like, hi, I'm here streaming, like, let's keep going, and then being unhappy and not yourself or anything. Unless you're really good with the like putting on a whole display thing, then that's a different story. But I think recharging your batteries is really important and really beneficial to everybody.
Yeah.
That's
I
just my
haven't
opinion.
really taken a forced break, so I don't know. Like, I've taken breaks because, like, oh, I need to do this thing, and then I just end up taking a break. But I've never taken a forced break, so I don't really know.
Do you have a lighter in your hand, Conbot?
Yes. Do you hear it? I'm trying to do this as possible.
I take this with a grain of salt because I have not been in the 1 to 10 viewer range in quite some time. I will say the people that you lose from taking our break are not worth the stress and the anxiety and the depression that you will have in the end from not doing that. For every break that you take, everybody else takes two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to think that when you take a break and then you come back, other people take breaks, and then those viewers funnel the other way towards you. And nobody ever sees it that way. People just see it as, I take time off, people aren't going to see me, and they're going to go elsewhere. What happens when the other people take time off? You know, where do those people go? They'll make their way back. I have taken plenty of breaks. I no longer try and stress about taking days off. If you make great content and you leave a lasting impression, people will come back if they enjoy you. And that's kind of what I believe. And if they don't come back, then I believe that that's on me, that I did not give them a reason to come back. The chances that somebody will unfollow you from everything after you take a break and never make their way back ever are very, very, very slim. Very slim. If you're still on the following list, you know, there's a chance that they'll come back. I'm going to ask you all a question. In my 2-week break, based on my presence on social media with clip uploading and highlights and content, would you have thought that I was taking a 2-week break from streaming.
Nope. Not really.
Yeah.
I think you
Okay.
discussed it, so yeah. Like I think you said it at one point, and so I knew. Maybe if you like I hadn't heard about it, then maybe I wouldn't
Right.
know. But you mentioned it, and it was like, okay, I'm taking a break. But you like weren't gone. You know what I mean?
Right. That is the key. If you are planning on taking a break, try to plan some content for yourself while you're off. It doesn't take any energy or emotion or stress to upload stuff while you're offline. So a great way to not get forgotten is to plan some stuff when you're not going to be around. I feel like that's a great way to kind of have a little bit better of retention. And that's not something that I used to do. That's something that I only started to do most recently. Was like, okay, I know that I'm gonna excuse me, I'm gonna be off, and so it's probably a good idea to get some clips, get some highlights, and plan some stuff out. But then again, I haven't been in those like baby growing stages to know what it's like to take those breaks. Because I mean, if you look at my viewer numbers over the past 6 years, that is a very, very, very slow growth. And were my breaks a product of that, or was it just because I was a terrible content creator? You'll never know.
What do you think about running reruns on channel?
Twitch is live for me. I don't think my shit is good enough for you to go and watch it after the fact. Like I take a lot of pride in having a great live experience. If people want to watch VODs, that's cool. I also like hosting people, and I don't like only using my channel for myself. I like being able to put other people on so that if people come into my channel after the fact, I like being able to spread that love a little bit. I'm sure, like, again, going back to those things that you could probably do to grow a little bit more that I refuse to do. That's probably one of them. I'm sure if I were to do that, maybe I'd see a little bit more growth, but I don't know. I don't really like to do it. Never done it. Alrighty. Next question. Middle-aged stream. If you could focus on one skill and only one skill to improve for streaming, what would it be?
Oh.
Conbot seems like he's got the answer.
Well, no, I thought it was one skill only, and then it was for streaming. I was like, oh. If it was normal, non-streaming skill, I want to be a master at drums. But for streaming, like, I actually wish I was good at video games.
Just be good at it.
Like it'd be so like fun to be actually good. I don't know.
Can I like learn to do those trick shots and
Yeah.
stuff? Because like that'd be cool.
Maybe.
I feel like to me, I struggle the most with time management. So I would say anything and everything time management. Please teach me. Because I'm like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll take out my dog and be like, all right, I'm just going to sit here and just do dumb shit for no reason or scroll through my social feed because I don't know why. And then I could be doing something completely different during that time frame.
Yeah, it's a mind fuck.
Yeah.
Mine would be probably like editing and graphic content, because I would like to be able to like turn that around like to other people, because like I am so bad at it, It's like one of those things that I just wish I was better at, because it would make my stream better, and then I could in turn turn around and make other streams better.
I wish I could sing. I feel like it would really elevate my content. Oh god, shit. Sorry, Windows noise in the recording. I wish that I was better at, like, I think interacting with chat as far as maintaining conversations. There's times where I ask a question and then chat answers it, and I said, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
Yeah,
and it's like short-term memory loss. It's just gone. There's times where I get so caught up in a tangent or talking that I forget to address things in chat. And I know that there's a certain speed at which chat moves that you can't respond to everything, and you have to let that go. But there's sometimes where I'm like, man, I've really just botched that conversation. So that would be it for me.
Hmm.
Did everybody go? I think everybody went.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just want to be good at video games.
Buddha asks, you get afraid when there's a lot of thunder and lightning like right now?
I
Storm,
love
no.
it.
I
My
do
dog
too.
does.
Yeah.
I love thunder and lightning.
I love storms.
Storm's cool.
Hello, my neighbor asks, what was the first game you remember playing?
Mike Tyson
Ooh.
Punch Out.
Tyson Punch Out, okay.
Super Mario.
This is the very clear memory, but there was this Star Wars math that I was super into. So like,
Oh, did anyone ever play
Hell
those the Captain Crunch CD?
yes, that honestly might be it for me. Those ones where you like the little crunch bear. and
You make those
skateboard.
little crunch monsters or
Yeah.
something.
I played that. Yeah.
That game was completely overshadowed by Chex Quest. I'm sorry, but the Captain Crunch game had absolutely no shot.
I don't think I ever played Chex Quest. Burger King
I
games.
didn't.
Okay. Anyways, that's the end of the podcast. Pitfall was the first game that I remember playing. It was for Super Nintendo. Yeah.
You are ancient.
Oh my god!
Air horns.
Jesus! Next question, Gamers for Life. How do you decide what to play on stream?
Here you
Depends.
go.
What you feeling?
For the past 6 years, it has either been whatever I feel like, or for the past year and a half, it was what did my subs choose? My subs have chosen the past year and a half worth of games for me. As soon as I'm done with sub select, I am moving into a more strategic game choice routine where I'm going to play new games as they come out, kind of plan certain times and certain days, and really kind of get down nitty gritty with it. But for right now, whatever my community chooses for me.
Yeah, whatever I feel right now,
Yeah.
because I can't pick anything. Like, it's awful.
Fair enough.
For me, it'll be something a matter of just whatever subscribers pick, and then just what I'm feeling once I finish that one game.
I'd see a lot of people like I said, like before I start streaming, I'll spend like an hour looking at other people's chats, and sometimes like I'll be like, oh, they're having a good time playing that game. I want to play that now. Like that sometimes helps me. I would say, like, oh, so and so's playing this game. I should play that. That'd be fun. That's something.
Absolutely. Question from Gamers for Light. Nope. Herrera, what is your favorite memory that happened on stream?
There's so many.
There is a lot.
Playing Outlast 2, hiding in a barrel, having scream emotes, and just absolutely shitting my pants when like this giant cross lady comes out of nowhere, and just like my follower and the ladies just timed it exactly perfect, and I don't get scared at all. And it's like I just absolutely duked. It was
Gray, I'll let you go.
I mean, there's a lot of times where I'm playing scary games and my just like jump scares and everything. Recently, just within the past 48, 72 hours, there was a time during the 24-hour stream. It ended up being 25, so I was going to say 25. 24-hour stream where I was doing blindfold drawing. And I drew a Teletubby for one of my mods and my good friend Patty, and it just the result was ridiculous. Actually, I have it right here. I have both.
nice.
If you want me to show you, if anybody wants to talk while I find it, but
Conbot?
that was probably my favorite.
But I would say so. We did the the one on the right looks scary.
I know.
Beautiful.
This is
Demonic
hilarious.
Teletubby. Mine is so I used to do this thing called CSPN, which is where I would have my buddy Travis and my dad, and we pretended we were like sportscasters, and we were playing like PUBG or something like that. And my alert, it does ooh-ah-ah-ah from that Down with the Sickness song. and I purposely have it turned up really loud so that I can hear it. But it also scares me quite often. So I was playing PUBG, right? And I got spooked by it because somebody followed or something. And I was like, oh, geez. Right? And I was like, ah, he got scared by his own alert. And then somebody was playing next and they could hear it. And somebody went and made an account that just said, like, this is to scare Travis or something like that. And when the alert went off, it scared him. And then it was said, this is to scare Travis. And it worked. And it was like, I laughed so hard. It's just like somebody went and made an account to make a good joke. Like, committing to the bit. I like it.
Oh my God. That's actually really good for
Yeah,
fucking blind.
could
I
not do that.
found that I actually am quite talented blindfold drawing.
Wow. Not
Nice.
bad. I have two because, I can't pick one. Number one is beating Getting Over It. That is honestly like, out of all of
You
the
can
games,
beat that game?
Yeah.
I've beaten it 3 times.
I can't.
Yeah.
Damn!
Yeah. I can beat it. My best time is like
flex, but
40
okay.
minutes.
Weird flex, but all right.
That's not even a weird flex. That's just straight up flex.
It's a flex, baby. I have never seen chat explode so hard after beating something. Like, we got to the end, and not only that, but I beat that game as soon as the beat dropped for my sub song. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it. And I was just floating in space and getting over it while that song, like, it was a perfect on-brand moment where it was just like a super long stream. All of the lights were flashing. My sub song was playing and chat was exploding. And I just felt like virtual Jesus in that moment. It's one of my all-time favorite stream moments. And number 2 is the OBS fundraiser. I think that is
That's cool.
That was beautiful.
Very good one. Yeah.
second. Easy.
Man, when chat lights up and everyone gets excited, it's the best feeling.
Yep.
Yeah. What's that like?
You'll feel it. We're going over there. We're going light it up.
No, my mod's in here, so I'm gonna see what he says.
Next question. This is the last one. Again, chat, there were so many questions that were submitted after we started the Q&A. We're coming up on 2.5 hours. I have to draw the line. I'm really, really sorry. Do better and get here earlier next time, fuckos. All right, that's all I gotta say. Just kidding. I love you. Thank you. Last question. Prime rib or roast beef?
Is that even a question? Prime rib.
Rib.
Is this a dick and vag joke?
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Both?
I don't really care.
I'm
He's
gonna.
like, yeah, on the fence and take both. Yeah.
I've never had prime rib, and I don't like roast beef, so I don't know where that leaves me.
Steak.
Fucking. Oh man, tomahawk ribeye, easy.
How do you eat your steak then?
Medium rare. There's no other
Yeah,
way.
you-
Well,
you would
so
like prime
long
rib.
since
You
I've
would
had
like prime
anything
rib.
like that.
Bro,
That's
okay.
easy.
I
rib.
no longer think that medium rare is the best for all. I definitely don't think it's the best for skirt.
As long as it's not Arby's.
But as far as like strip, fucking ribeye and fillet, medium
Filet
rare
mignon,
all day.
yeah.
But there's definitely a couple steaks that are not great medium rare, and skirt is definitely one of them.
It's been so long since I've had anything like that.
Wait, you not eat meat?
No, not often.
Okay.
I'll eat chicken. That's about it.
Okay.
The last time I had ribs, I got really sick twice. Like both times that I had ribs. So I just like,
Ooh.
Well, stay away from that shit. So.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, that is it for our Q&A tonight, and unfortunately, that is it for the podcast tonight. Was a fan-fucking-tastic episode, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you guys for joining me on the show and being fantastic fucking guests. You guys are all such a joy to have on. I love having you on. I love talking to you. You all have such great perspectives. Thank you very much for being on the show.
we appreciate you. You're
Thanks
an
for
amazing
having us.
host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. What we're going to do is go around the room one final time. I want you all to take this time to sell out where we can find you online, what kind of streams you have coming up, any and everything. Please go for it. GiganticGent, if you want to go first, and then Conbot, you can follow.
All right. I'm GiganticGent. I'm a writer streamer here on Twitch. Again, I am at GiganticGent on Twitch and Twitter. I am GiganticGent.ttv on Instagram. And upcoming, I have a stream tomorrow, probably an FPS. And in the works, I have D&D one-shots coming where I will be DMing with followers and doing one-shots with them where they will create a character and we will play through a 4-hour session to try and get through it. So that's my next venture coming.
I am Conbot789. You can find me on twitch.tv/Conbot789. I try and be funny, and I'm bad at video games. Better about gaming skills. Come on over or something. All gamers are welcome. Twitter Conbot789 as well. YouTube Conbot789. Just Conbot789 everywhere. That's my name. That's my username. Yeah.
My name's Gray. I go by GameWithGray on Twitch and Pirate Grayson everywhere else, and that's GraySon. Also subscribe to Knackers with 3 A's on twitch.tv.
No, don't do it.
Twitch Prime.
Use your Twitch Prime. Free sub. Subscribe. Amazing content.
We know you have
Fantastic
Amazon
streamer.
Prime.
You all do.
You know you
Fetch
have
up.
it. That free shipping. Get that free sub.
Dog. All right. Look, there is a link in chat. It is a Google Doc that has all of these guests' social media. Please, if you enjoyed any of their company, click on that link in chat. Give them a follow on social media. Check out their streams. Be a daisy. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out for the podcast. It was an awesome show. We hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thank you for the support. And of course, if you want to stick around to raid another channel, you are more than welcome to do so. So you all have a fantastic night, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
I'll be a Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry. You got that reference. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, all right. Good night, guys.
Night.
Bye.